What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard is supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, that complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even talking. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
Men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.
And what they say, let the show begin.
The show
with you, man.
For me, the show started last night. The show started for me last night.
Boy, there you go. Did you get drunk?
No, I didn't get drunk. I just watched the election results come in. They were pretty much a foregone conclusion because I knew she wasn't going to win. She didn't have a snowball's chance in hell with the campaign she ran. But I got a lot of people switched up on me. I had to post a message on Facebook saying, if you don't like the fact that I did not support Kamala Harris, then just unfriend me. I've been getting a lot of hate from people. It is.
Well, actually, my deal, I just call it like I see it. And the people who know me.
Right.
I ain't never bit my tongue because that shit hurt. And I don't like pain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not one that bites my tongue. And so when it started, I posted on my page that I didn't see her winning. The world wasn't ready for a woman president. I just didn't see her winning. And then people was like, well, you'll see. You know, I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow on the podcast. Yeah, you're gonna talk about her winning and all that. Anthony Delafus, AD, as he's known in the streets. But it wasn't a who I was for or whatever. I just sat back and watched everything, and final result just called it like I saw it. You know, right. And that was going on. It was too many odds, too many last minute, and like you say, it's the campaign she ran.
Right. It was a poor campaign. Very bad.
Yeah, it was she should have. I wasn't impressed at all with her the campaign at all.
To be honest, in my regard, you know, I ran 2 political campaigns, so I kind of got an inside line on some things and some different perspective. But she just ran a pretty much a shitty campaign from beginning to end. They gave her $100 million in which to run her campaign, but all she did was spend it on B and C level celebrities that don't care, that we don't really care about. Then she dragged Barry out of the slave master's house to come on a big man's porch and yell at us to get back to work in the fields. So when she did that, I knew she was done, and she's not impressive. But there's nothing about her that's impressive. It's not the fact that I don't think. You know, and people gonna want to throw misogyny into it a lot. And I don't think that's what it is. I just think she's the wrong woman to be president. There's nothing about her that's presidential. Nothing. There's nothing about her that shows me she's competent. Nothing. There's nothing that shows me that she can sit in the room with Putin and not be liquefied by that man. So as a result, I did not feel as though she deserved our support. She was pandering to us. She's not even black, but she's in our black churches. Which I'm gonna get on that. The biggest hole in the black community is the black church right now to me, because come every 4 years, y'all hoe out, y'all spread them legs wide open for these Democrats to come in and just run a train on you, and they don't do nothing for you. So the black church needs to be looked at. All these things that had it in there, y'all need to step down, man. Y'all a disgrace, for real. Y'all trumping up this woman as being black, knowing she not gonna do nothing for black men, knowing the Democrats not gonna do nothing.
Like I said. I think it was more of I'm gonna break it down because there was a lot of rhetoric. I'm gonna break it down, but let me get something out the way real quick. Alrighty, let me see. Let me get the quick BS out the way first, then Trump. Okay, here we go. All right, Ocho Cinco back in the news.
Right.
All right, he was engaged. He was engaged to her, and about a week and a half ago, right before Halloween, she decides to break off the engagement.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when our women break off something, they have to take it to social media.
Right.
So my thing was, she posted their engagement. And it was, she's so in love, okay? But his relationship was toxic from the jump, from the get-go.
Right.
But this is the engagement right here. such a lovable moment, right?
It's
You know what I'm
funny.
saying? Beautiful moment. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when you live in the public eye.
Yeah.
Then it goes from that to her posting, Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man. But with you knowing this is a disrespectful world that we now live in, you know somebody on social media got to come with something.
Right.
So then after she posted that, someone posted under there that under her post that now she can get in the DM. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, sis. You know what I'm saying? I will kindly slide in his DM. And then she comes back and say, LOL, hope you don't catch anything, sis. But you were so in love and you was crying at the engagement, but he knew she was toxic in the beginning. And so that's why, you know, we say often on here that you knew what you was getting into in your relationships. When you had those breakups, you kind of knew the red flags. You knew when you went wrong, and you eventually start holding yourself accountable.
Right.
Okay. So that's what's happening with him. And coming off of that last breakup that he did when the girl accused him, the woman accused him of physically abusing her and all of that.
Right.
He's walking kind of on eggshells, and this girl is like the bully in this, just like we think the Evelyn chick that he was going with was more like a bully. But he took it to express himself about one of their episodes on Shannon Sharp show, and this is what happened.
We got into it again. I bullshit you not, and I'm not even playing it. She right here. You know, y'all have First Watch out there where you at?
First Watch.
Yeah, First Watch. It's like a Denny's, IHOP, a little bit more. I don't want to use the word upscale, but a little more.
He froze.
Yeah, so I'm eating breakfast, right?
Yes.
I'm eating breakfast. I get my normal. I get my French toast, and I get my steak and eggs, right? And I get my fruit bowl.
Okay.
So she called my phone. So I placed the phone up. I got the phone in my hand, and I'm eating my food.
Right.
So I got my sunglasses. I got my sunglasses sitting on my head.
Right.
My sunglasses fall by accident, right? Not by accident. And I put them back up real fast. And the waitress was in front of me. Real.
Who is
think
that?
Somebody sitting at, she say, man, who in the fuck is that sitting in front of you? I know you're not fucking playing with me. Put your glasses back down. So I took my glasses and I'm like, and I put them down on the table. She's like, Chad, don't you fucking play with me.
Right. I hear you in the background, Rail, laughing.
And like, she think it's funny. I say, Mike, what are you talking about? Turn the camera around. I turn the camera around.
He didn't turn the camera around. He didn't turn the camera
Hold
around.
on, listen. I turn the camera around. My plate of food is right there. My French toast, I had finished already, and I'm eating my steak and eggs. And I'm like, man, what is your problem? Then the waitress comes right back out right again, and now the waitress nervous because she can hear her cursing, and I'm confused.
Rail, you acting up like that, Rail?
It was so embarrassing because I didn't want to snap, and the waitress was like, the waitress got scared because she could hear her cursing, so the waitress went away the first time, and she came back to make sure everything was okay.
That was hell real. That wasn't real. That was hell real.
Boy, I saw boy, she snapped. She snapped.
You snapped on it for real, Rail?
Because I was like, put your glasses back down.
No. Tell him how you did it. Do it. Don't laugh.
Put your glasses back down. I didn't say that.
Did you tell him he was playing in your face, Rail?
I said, don't fucking play in my face now. You better not be fucking playing in my face. That's what I said.
No, say it how you said it. Say it how you said it over the phone. Say it just how you said it.
No.
Man, she was talking to me like I'm not even Ocho. Like she like we almost got into it. But again, she apologized, said I was sorry because when my glasses fell and they went back up, she saw the reflection of the waitress sitting in front of me.
Right.
And it was her. And by the time it dawned on me what she was talking about, because she was confusing me, because instead of just communicating and talking normal, she was screaming like she was my homeboy and like she wanted to fight.
I had a tone in my voice, but I don't scream.
Man,
Yeah.
But
you wanted to let him know the seriousness of what you were saying.
No, she would getting her head down talking about, oh, I was finna pull up on you. And
I was about to pull up, baby.
Hey, I'm talking about straight hood, straight out the hood. Out the hood.
Yeah, and he looked so uncomfortable even telling Shannon Sharpe. And then she was laughing and he was like, yeah, it's not funny. He was really disturbed by her actions.
And embarrassed. He was embarrassed. Yeah. She's an embarrassment. I'm so glad he didn't wife her, because that's not the kind of woman you wife. Any woman that acts like that, you don't wife a woman like that. So he dodged the bullet on that one. And she just posting that stuff about cats or something. She just proving how petty she is. So I'm glad he avoided that detrimental situation that would have messed him up.
And then posted something about catching something, make you wonder, what do the guys need to be careful of her? And she's what, a realtor, and
she's classless.
You know,
see that?
Huh?
She's classless just by how she acted. You can tell by the look on his face. He's embarrassed by her.
Oh yeah, he was very embarrassed. You know, but he thought, you know what I'm saying, that since she was successful, didn't need nothing from him. You know, and she's on like a show about real estate, I think. Mm-hmm. So she has her own career, her own thing.
Is it one of those reality shows?
Yeah, yeah. And so that's why when I speak with certain celebrities, you know, like I often refer to what the Ross girl said. She said she didn't want to date anyone who was, you know, in the spotlight.
Right.
She just wanted her a regular, you know, a regular Joe. You know what I'm saying? No spotlight, no attention. And Chad tends to chase beauty, what he feels like he should have on his arm. Because if you look at her, then go look at Evelyn, his previous, that he had all those abusive allegations thrown on him. They in the same, you know, the same class of women. You can see them in the same circle. Right.
He got a type, and the type ain't doing him no good. You know, we all got a type, but sometimes that type ain't what's best for him.
Hell no, as he finding out. And okay, so that's Chad. So hopefully, you know, they both supposed to be going their separate ways. And hopefully it don't turn into a Tyrese situation where he's coming on fiending and crying, because keep in mind, he did propose. Right. And for a man to get on a knee and go on social media and propose, you really think you have yourself something. And so I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
he seems like a cool guy. And I think he got the raw end of the stick with the previous relationship that went viral.
Right.
Because I think they got into it, he reacted, and she made it more. She exaggerated to try to pull him down.
She seems like a low vibration woman. You know, you can't be around low vibration people. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be unequally yoked in a different kind of way. Messing with a woman like that. Any woman that's that classless to where she gonna act a fool, you know, like that. You don't this number 12.
And to me, that's a red flag, because I had a friend guy of mine who was actually, we were at, it was a Gremlin homecoming, and I was hanging out with the guy that sang "Throw That Ass in the Circle," and he decided to go with me, and so we stopped at the little Whataburger or whatever down there, and the female, his girl, hit him up like, where you at? What you doing? And you know, you stay gone so long. I know your schedule. I could mess around on you anytime. And anyway, she was throwing that at him in hopes that he would be uneasy where he was and want to get to her. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, just, you know, ignore that. And, you know, she throwing something at you. And I wouldn't be surprised if she left that night and, you know what I'm saying, did whatever. And she was staying in his house. So, you know, women of today are very vindictive, and they'll do anything to.
And it's funny you say that.
that.
Guess who just told me that earlier this year about women? Be wary of women I get involved with. My pastor.
Who that?
My pastor.
Okay.
My pastor pulled me aside and said, be careful with these women, George. They're vindictive. A lot of them manipulative. A lot of them are getting in the way of what you're doing. That's why I've kind of sworn off that part of my life. But seeing Chad Johnson kind of go through that, it really makes me more wary of getting involved with somebody just because that's not energy that you need when you're a man.
Right. Right. And they out there. And then he's trying to stay the straight and narrow because of his previous relationship. So it's hell out there for the dating class, brothers. Just be careful. Make sure you together. Don't get too attached, like you said on the intro that plays in my mind almost, daily when you said it ain't even a fact if they love you as much as you love them. It's just the fact that you can't love them that much. So you gotta really walk through life now, not giving your 100% per se for a while in a relationship before you just let your guards down. But I live like that anyway. Right. I wasn't quick to just 2-3 weeks, 2 months, a month. I'm head over heels. I wasn't like that no way.
Yeah, because the way I am now, you gotta, if I meet a young lady, she gonna, even older lady, she gonna have to take time to get to know me, and that takes time. So I'm not looking to rush it. If I were to get involved in something, which right now I'm really not. You have to take it slow and get to know that person and see them when they're at their worst and when they're at their best, so you know what you get.
Right.
Don't just go for the pretty rapper, because their rapping comes off. Now you got to deal with the box you got underneath.
Yeah.
Because you get mystified with that pretty wrapping paper, and wrapping paper gonna end up in the garbage. What you got in that box is what you're gonna have to live
with. And that's a good analogy you use there, because I was trying to tell the daughter, because she's real rough, and for Christmas she just. And so I'm like, why don't you just neatly take the paper off, because the paper is pretty. But like you said, it's not she trying to get to the box. Right. She ain't messed up about how pretty the paper is. And I'm like, you just so rough. And she even tear up the box to get what's inside that box. And I'm like I bought her Xbox or something. And I was gonna let her play with the Xbox. And if she didn't like it, take it back and get her the PS5. Right. She didn't want the PS5 because her brother got the PS5, and she just wanted to try something different. A couple of friends of hers have the Xbox. So I was like, okay. So while she was playing it, I'm gonna say like the second week, because you have to like January 31st to bring whatever back, and there's no hassle. So 2 weeks out of playing it, I say, let me see if she just want to get the digital version of the PS5. So I went up in there and I was like, hey, okay, you want to try the digital version and blah, blah. And she had tore that box to shreds and I couldn't take it back. So I'm like, man, when you stuck with the, but I get what you're saying. People, people want what's inside. You have to live with what's inside that box. So that was a deep one right there. I got applause on that. I'm probably gonna steal that from you.
So folks steal my stuff all the time. Folks steal my stuff. That's okay. Just give me credit for it. We'll be all right.
Okay, that was as Honorable George once said. Okay, now I guess we'll go ahead and break this shit down. Break this down. This heartbreaking. Not that, but we'll go ahead and break it down. What happened? What went wrong? I want to know who y'all chose and why. Did you choose who you chose? That was the main question that I wanted to ask. And why do you think your candidate didn't win? Those are the questions that I had for the people tonight. Because it could have went anyway. When I put everything up, it could have went anyway.
Yeah.
But
I think that she's inept. I think that she's not qualified to be president. I don't think she's qualified to be vice president. And that's what I voted on. I looked at her record. I looked at her interviews, not impressed at all. I looked at the things she said. Got so sick of hearing her talk about how she's from a middle class family. She said nothing. She had no substance. She has no substance. If she runs again, she will quickly be defeated. There's no comeback for her from this. She messed it up too bad. She needs to go and disappear and take Joe with her, because the Democratic Party right now is going to do everything they can for immigrants, women, and gay folks. We black men, we are our own interest group. We have our own issues. We have our own things we need the government to try to do for us. We need our own independence, and we need to be supporting a party that's going to provide us with opportunities to make money and not a handout. That's the thing. A real man wants an opportunity to make his own way and his own money, not a handout. A hand up, not a handout. And she wasn't even promised us handouts. The only thing I know she was really promised it was something about marijuana. And I'm like, so that's all you value us as? So you legalize weed and we gonna jump on board? You pull out Beyonce to shake our ass? We supposed to jump? And it felt as though we were being told what to do. We were being dictated to. And that's where I think she lost a lot of black men, because a lot of black men I talked to, we talked about, when Trump was in office last time, we were economically doing better, and that's what's pushing us right now. It's nothing else other than economics. You a man. And then one thing too that she messed up at, she got all these sissified, pussified, beta male, black male celebrities to come out for the DL Hughley's, the Steve Harveys, the Roland Martins, the who else she have? All these beta males, all these weak ass men coming out trying to talk to us and relate to us. We don't relate to you. You soft. You pandering. We're not gonna respond to you.
DL Hughley not that bad.
In this case, he worthless. So in this case, he garbage. He might be out on his little radio show that I don't listen to, but garbage is garbage. And they came out supporting a garbage candidate with a garbage platform and a garbage campaign. It was all trash. She wasn't gonna win from the get-go. It's not even so much about Trump. It's about not letting. It wasn't even so much about supporting Trump. It was about not making sure she don't end up with her ass in the White House, because we have been screwed. This country had been screwed. We dodged a bullet. We just like Ocho Cinco, like he dodged the bullet not marrying that girl. We dodged the bullet not marrying Kamala.
Boy, you deep.
I tell you this. I do a lot of side gigs and things. I also side gig because of the election. The guy that I work for. He saw one of my posts being critical, not bashing, but being critical of Kamala. I get a text saying we can't work together no more. Fuck them. Okay. No ill will. You do you, I do me. But that's how people act. Right. And if you're acting this over a worthless candidate, you know what I'm saying? It just behooves me. And it's starting to make me look at black folks different, because I'm looking at how we treated each other during this campaign. They weaponized black women against us black men to get us to vote for their help. They were turning black women against black men to support her, further degrading the black family, further degrading our community, further creating a chasm between us.
And let me state this before I forget. I saw a post where somebody was saying he experienced a racist, I guess, experience while under the Trump administration back in 2020 or whatever. Then I started thinking, Trayvon Martin died under the Obama administration. Right. So who's running the country to a degree has nothing that happens in your state or your city, even though while Trump was in office, more rednecks decided to show their true colors. But at the end of the day, if you are a true male, you know how to counteract. You get what I'm saying? So everybody has freedom of speech, so they can say what they want. And when they result to violence, and you just have to do what you have to do. And it doesn't matter who's running your country, per se. the situations that you get in. Because like I say, we lost many up under Obama's administration.
Right.
You know, and the cops didn't get no better when Trump came. And they still didn't get no better when Biden was up in there. So it really don't matter because we losing people today to recent to police brutality. That lady that got killed, the Massey lady, that happened under the Biden Kamala administration. So we can dictate what happened to us when a president was, when we had a commander-in-chief in office. That doesn't dictate what happens in Louisiana or in Texas or in Georgia. You just, if you find yourself caught in that situation, you just be human and you react as if a human being will act. It's nothing it's nothing that the president can do when you get in that situation. See what I'm saying?
You have to know how to navigate that. You have to know how to navigate that on your own. And being black males, you know, we many of us have experienced things like that. I grew up in the South. In Memphis. I'm from Memphis. I grew up in Mississippi a lot. So that kind of stuff really doesn't surprise me. You know, it's something we should be not used to, but something we should be able to, at this point, be emotionally mature enough to navigate without losing our minds. Because our problem with black folks right now is we too damn emotional. That's what Kamala ran off, our emotions. That's why she positioned herself with as a black woman, even though she's not. She was thinking, and she did all of the sorority stuff. Well, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm like you. You ain't nothing like us. You ain't nothing like us.
And then, to me, I'm gonna tell you what I think lost it 100%. Well, it's two main factors. It's two main factors. Number one, she didn't stick to her policies and her views to just let people know, because I went and read her policies and she had some pretty cool things that she was saying she wanted to do. I like the business proposal, the 50,000. I liked a lot of the things she was saying that she was going to try to do, the tax cuts, and it was cool. But what she failed to do was separate herself from Biden, just like Hillary failed to separate herself from Obama. So when it was time to vote for her, people wanted a change because the second term of Obama, they weren't that pleased. Everything started going up and He sent out some little stimulus checks, which is, I'm sure, is what Austin was saying. That kind of trickled down to what Trump was able to quickly come up with. But he started being unfavorable toward the last year of his office. Okay, so she didn't separate herself. So people was like, okay, we're gonna get the same thing we had with Obama. We looking for a change, but we getting the same thing we getting with him. Had Kamala come out and said, unlike my boss, unlike the current president, I won't do this. I won't do the immigrants. I won't do, she should have been focusing on what she will do different from what he did. And I think, I'm not saying she would have won, because I don't think the world is ready for a woman president, period. I don't care if she's Indian, if she's white, black, Latina, whatever. Being that men feel like they built America, they're not quick to let a woman be the president. So more men got up and got out there and voted.
Yeah, but she would have
young men.
Yeah, it's like my son 19, he voted for Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
He said the reason he voted for Trump is because that's who his ideals align with. He trying to make money. He's 19. He trying to get his grind on. He's not concerned about all these little social issues. And the thing is, he said, Dad, if she was going to do all this stuff, she's been in office 3.5 years. She's had a chance to implement something. She hadn't done anything.
Well, now I'm gonna have to enlighten you on that. Well, I slightly disagree with you on that.
Okay.
As you know that let's see. As vice president, you have no authority over the president. So whether I'm sitting there as vice president wanting to do this and I'll do this different, I'll do that different, he has the final say so. That's kind of like if you in a household and you man of the household, yes, our women voice their opinion, but at the end of the day, if you say, well, I don't think we need to do that, if you have a submissive woman, she's going to go along, you have the final say so. So whether Kamala was sitting in there and had more or better ideas than Biden, at that time being vice president, whatever he says goes. You get what I'm saying? So
in other words,
she didn't express her views enough to make anyone see her differently.
So in other words, she was an ineffective vice president, where other vice presidents have been able to have their own platforms even in that role. So she was an ineffective president.
The other ones didn't either. They did what they did in the background. Let's just say they worked on foreign policy. That's what they did.
What did she work on?
I'm sure she worked on things, but I'm saying at the end of the day, the things that your son and all the men and everything was going for, the economy, that's the commander in chief, not the vice president.
Well, either
vice president handles other stuff. So if they have their ideas, so when they get that opportunity to take over, then they do things different. But her mistake was she didn't separate herself from Biden, and then they showed that clip where she said she agreed with everything that Biden did and said.
She made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Hey, Kirkland Henry, welcome to the platform, man. Speak on the podcast, Fall Edition, 2K4 Fall Edition. What's happening with you? Welcome back, my brother.
Yeah, man, I had to fight to get on, but
and you just blanked out.
Right.
But so yeah, she didn't push forth enough. And I think if she would have laid out her views instead of trying to mudsling with a mudslinger, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it would have been a better outcome. Because I'm not gonna lie. I was renowned looking at the margin at which she lost. I was expecting them to be counting ballots to at least Thursday, at least Friday, maybe Thursday.
I knew this was
tomorrow.
When she ran her,
he won by a landslide.
Yeah.
And what people not understanding is, but he did this. He said this. None of that matters when your pockets are hurting.
Exactly.
None of that matters when your electric is 3 times higher. None of that matters when your mortgage is shot up. None of that matters when your auto and home insurance has shot up through the roof. None of that matters when you can't go and get a 5-pound thing of ground beef when it used to be $10, now it's $20. None of that matters. You worrying about your pockets. So at the end of the day, economy became the issue. And like you said, like I said, and like many of the men that voted, our pockets were better under Trump than they were under the current.
And plus, we also looking at the fact that, you know, under Democratic rule, we have not prospered. We have not progressed. The gays have progressed. Women have progressed. The Asians got a crime bill passed. You got Ukraine getting money. You got immigrants getting everything. Where is the attention on us? Where's the attention on us as a diaspora and as a voting bloc? They're trying to replace black people. The Democrats are trying to replace black people as a voting bloc with immigrants. They ain't studying us. They really not. Why do you think they're giving them everything? Because they know generationally that's going to be support for them. That's going to lock in their power. That's what they hoping for.
Why did Democrats win last time?
What? Because we're talking about with Obama?
No, with Biden.
I think that a lot of it was a female vice president. It was a popularity vote. I think they thought Biden was.
So the women came out with the demands that they want, right?
Right.
So what, as black men, what do we ask for?
I've been speaking on stuff for years. Black men have been speaking on stuff for years. We just don't get listened to. And here's the thing: we are past the point of somebody listening to us. We're gonna do it ourselves, but we can't do it with her in office. It's not what we need to do.
But we have, to me, we don't have local leaders anymore.
And that's another thing, right?
We used to could name a lot of leaders.
Right. You're exactly right.
We knew them by voice. We knew what they stood for.
We don't pay attention to local elections like we should.
We don't know nobody now.
No, nobody.
Jesse Jackson old, Al Sharpton old. I don't know of anyone that has a voice that's speaking for men, and half our men, a good percentage of our men, are so confused that if they ain't turning gay, they transgenders.
Yeah, I tell you this.
We got all type of problems.
Right.
But we finna have, in my opinion, we finna have way more problems than we ever could imagine. It is the lesser of two evils. But with Trump in office, you finna find out.
Oh, that's okay. I find out with money in my pocket. I don't care nothing about immigration. I don't care nothing about women. All I care about is my money.
Well, I hope it's enough.
Oh, it'll be enough. I'm gonna make enough. I'm ready to get my grind on, make enough. I can't do it with Kamala in office. I can't do it.
I got what you're saying. Well, if you can make money with Trump in office, you can make money with Kamala in office.
No, I can't.
I think when it boils down to the end of the day, number one, this presidential election was different than any other because they didn't lay a lot of their views on the table.
Right.
It wasn't about the views. It was about she did this and he did that. They did not, even in the debates, they did not go deep to say, well, I'm gonna do this plan. And you can go and look at such and such Article 347 on my, you can go look at that. I had to literally go. She has some good plans.
Plans don't do me no good. I need to see action. I don't need to see plans.
I had to literally go.
Curtis, turn your
who is that?
Turn your
hey Curtis, turn your volume down some. Turn your volume down, Curtis.
My good friend Curtis Abrams.
Yeah, your echoing. Turn it down. Turn whatever you listen to down. I put some headphones on.
Yeah, but this is my good friend.
Welcome
Curtis
to the panel.
Yeah, he's going.
So we can hear you. And speaking of Abrams, before we get too deep too, I'm disappointed. Be honest with you though, I'm just saying. But what's going on with Georgia? They didn't let Abrams get in there, which I thought had the better chance. And if Abrams would have ran, she would have been my choice for president. Right. But Georgia has been red the last two elections after the mid-election, and then this one, it turned red. When I saw, and I posted this on my social media, when I saw she wasn't getting Georgia, I knew it was over. Yeah. How you not get Georgia, and how you not get Philadelphia, how you not get Wisconsin? Come on now. It almost seemed like you want to say this thing was rigged a little bit, but because even it was shown, I understand what you're saying, but I'm looking at it was light blue. And then from nowhere it turned red. It was kind of like when what was that guy who ran Kurt?
Florida.
That ran, what was his name? He was up against Bush. They declared him the winner. They declared him the winner, and then from nowhere they came right back and said Bush won.
Yeah, he won. Right. I know who you're talking about. He won in Florida and they took it from him.
Right.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. He had
you know what I'm talking about, George?
Yeah.
It was like in the late
80s.
19. No, it was in the two. It wasn't 2000, but it was like 19.
Was it Al Gore?
Al Gore.
Yeah. That's it.
Go back and look at, they got it all on YouTube how he won, and then all of a sudden they flipped it and said he lost. And then the news reporters was looking real weird and crazy when they say, well, they say he lost it. And then he just eventually gave up and consent to losing.
And even in the recount, he still won. And they still gave it to Florida.
Right.
Gave it to Bush.
But one telling thing about her that let me know we dodged the bullet and not electing her. The classless, graceless way she handled for her supporters at what was it, Howard? She had them waiting 6 hours, couldn't come out and do a concession speech, couldn't face them. That's weakness.
Yeah, and for those who don't know what he's talking about, then we're gonna let Curtis speak after this. But those who don't know what he's just saying, how she let the Howard fans down, and you don't do that at a university where you have up and coming entrepreneurs and everything. And that was very distasteful.
Yeah, she's a coward.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you. And go HU and go Harris. Thank you all.
Now, what message did that send to that crowd? Now, I understand, and like I say so many times, and I understand where Kirk going with it, but like I say so many times, women think with their heart, whereas men gonna think more with their minds. Go ahead, Curtis. What do you think about the outcome, and give us your comments on that?
It's fine. One of the reasons why I got on this program in the first place, George was telling me about how you conduct your program and your platform. I know Chanel, I know George, I know just about everybody. We kind of work and coincide together and stuff.
Okay.
I am not a political pundit. I'm just letting you know right now. I care less. And to be honest with you, I didn't even vote at all. I've abstained. But that's another reason. That's another reason for another day. My intake of the whole thing is simple as this. Both candidates, they both have flaws. It was kind of like a pendulum swing in a sense. We see the thing about let's compare this to music. Quincy Jones just died not too long ago.
Rest in peace.
He once said this one time, I'll never forget it. And he was probably talking about Michael Jackson's Thriller. He said something about music. Okay, with music, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, you can't see it, but you can feel it. What you can do with music is you can feel it so much that it does some things to you. It makes you feel good, makes you feel wonderful, it makes you do ignoramus things that you might not can think of. And that's what makes you who you are. In 2016, Donald Trump made America feel a certain way, because you got to understand, he's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's not a military person. He's a businessman. That everybody's saying the word stand on business right now. So what he did was frequently tried his best to make America great again. Now, I am not a Trump supporter at all, but I would have to say that during that time before the pandemic came, it was running pretty smooth and consistent. He put in a lot of good laws and good things that came into it. Remember I was telling you, George, about the First Step Act? Right. The First Step Act has something to do with your type of work, recidivism. Has something to do with men get out of prisons, helping out with college stuff. I mean, I go on and on with the business aspect. So he has a clarity of helping out people. Then the pandemic came, and then you know what else happened after that. So with this election, you got to look at it, and it's the old saying, there is no substitution for experience, plain and simple. Right. So in this case, the people, and this is different than 2016, but the people who knew Donald Trump in 2016 knew indicatively that they want to go back to those days before the Biden administration came. Because let's face it, the Democrats, when the Biden administration folks came, they didn't mess it up completely, but everything they said that they were going to do hasn't been done. I don't want to get started with the Bidenomics. I don't want to get started with anything else that's involved. I think the biggest takeaway from this is when they actually tried to tell Joe Biden to nominate a woman as a vice president. Because I was told that there was a group of ladies, they came to him and had a list of pieces of paper of who to get as a vice president. We didn't know their names, but Kamala Harris was at the very bottom because she was non-black. And that's the only reason why he took her. And keep in mind, years ago in that other Democratic convention, them two went at it against busing. I mean, she tore him up a little bit, but there was a nice young lady in the Senate by the name of Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii tore her ass up because of the fact that she did those things as a prosecutor in California and so forth about how she was doing wrong with the men in prison and so forth and so forth. So going back to today's time, from yesterday to now, first of all, I think, in my opinion, the timing was wrong for that to happen, to have somebody that didn't have any experience whatsoever. You got to understand, she never won anything. She never won any delegates. She ain't won nothing. Even to this day, when she lost the president, she ain't won anything. That was mistake number one. Mistake number two is it was probably identity. See, in history shows that popularity in presidency usually wins. The only time that it did not win was when Trump won against Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton was popular as well.
She won popular, right?
With her as well, along with Trump. But in this case, popularity will win. Barack Obama should have shut his mouth up and had came and told those black men that they should have voted for a woman. That's like gaslighting, man. You don't tell a grown man what to do just because you think and your wife thinks that something may not be going wrong in your trajectory of the election. She had no plans to do anything to implement whatsoever. The only thing I kept hearing from her, and she loves to reverberate a lot. She loves to say the same old lines. $25,000 is going to be given to college kids, not college kids, to first-time home buyers. And then something else about some money, and that was pretty much it. She never mentioned anything else about the Border Patrol. She mentioned something about fracking in terms of the Pennsylvania stuff. But other than that, that was pretty much it. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Now, Donald did say something about, I mean, he wants to do the favored nations for China if they do tariffs of the tax money. Like if they do $100-200 with the China imports, they're going to actually tax them back. And George, you know what favored nations is? Yeah, because they use that in wrestling. Right, favorite nations. They doing that. Then he's talking about he wants to try to get rid of that Ukraine war forever. He was specific with his roles or what he's saying. And see, going back to the feeling complex with Quincy Jones, people will understand when it comes to that. Kamala Harris should have, first of all, we understand that Joe Biden, he got sick and he couldn't get in there, and she only had a few days to rush things up. That's one thing. But how in the world you're going to have $200 and $300 something million in 24 hours, AKAs? You got these campaigns all together. Now you guys ready to go. And another issue, Hillary Clinton did the same thing. We're talking about Beyonce. We're talking about Cardi B. And Cardi B, oh my God, that woman cannot speak English. She was horrible. We're talking, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to jump in at the last minute. And then she did that Saturday Night Live stint. She vigorously tried to get the campaign push. You don't do that. Donald Trump never did that. All he did was sat back, laughed, and say, I know what I'm going to do. A lot of people back in 2016, Mr. Black and Mr. Brooks and Mr. Henry, they all knew and they felt what Trump was going to do 2016 back again. What it's saying is that the Democratic Party, in my opinion, is not up to the justification that they were looking for. And this is a woman out of nowhere that it could have been Mickey Mouse, it could have been Captain Kangaroo that could have took that spot from Joe Biden than anybody else, but it turned out to be her. She's good looking, she's smart, she's a prosecutor. I smelled a lot of feminism. in her. And I think it's because I'm a female, my reproductive rights around my body, my life, all this other stuff. It was rhetoric. You didn't have to say that. We need to feel. People are going to vote for feeling. They're not going to vote for anything else. Yeah, the facts are there, but the feelings are going to go over facts. They felt Donald Trump, and they felt him from the beginning. Now, yeah, he talked a lot of noise. The insurrection in January the 6th at that time was wrong. We know that. But the man touched you, and all of a sudden, this is what happens. And another thing, too, I got to say this. North Carolina, Kamala could have got North Carolina, but those reproductive rights were banished in a way in North Carolina, and because of that, the white voters, they said the white women voters didn't vote for Kamala, but the black ones did. If she'd have got Pennsylvania, and if she'd have got Georgia, and if she'd have got I want to say that other state, Ohio, and even Michigan, probably she would have killed it. The only big thing she ever did for electoral votes.
Got Nevada, did she?
What's that?
I don't even think she got Nevada, did she?
I don't think so. I'm looking at CNN right now, and they're still doing some projection polls. She's got 226. He's got 295. And I don't think I know New York is still out there yet. Well, no, New York's done. But those swing states. See, Trump did this in 2016 as well. In 2016, he went at the last minute to those swing states. He kept going back and forth to Ohio, to Pennsylvania, to Delaware. He went those places. I'm talking about.
I mean, you said it. You said it yourself.
Right.
Trump is a businessman. He's not a military. He's not. He has been a senator. This guy is a businessman, and he used his business, his business project. As far as his promotion, I mean, the guy knew what he was doing. When he got shot in the ear, this man literally shot himself in the ear to prove a point.
I was going to say
Lord spared. He said, "The Lord spared my life for a reason."
That's part of the feeling. That's the feeling complex. Yep.
Yeah, and and then people start giving in to him. And then he did all of this toward the middle of the campaigning because she was gaining ground. She was gaining ground, boy. She was coming out there. Then he gets shot in the ear.
I know.
So then that started making people start, he's dying. He held his fist up. Put the black fist up. We like, you know. So then when she started, she hit him with something else. The media came with some charges on him or whatever. Then guess what? Another assassination attempt.
Yep.
God spared my life for a reason. That dude was smart as hell. And that's why I said, even before the election came, I said way back on the podcast, I said, let this man go ahead and finish these last 4 years.
Yeah.
All the other presidents got 8. That man did 4, lost. Let him finish out these last 4 years. And then Biden them helped that. Look at your gas, where the gas is coming down. But look at your housing. I understand the pandemic, but it ain't changed. Look at the crime that's going down in Chicago and all these places because of the immigrants being left over there. I talk with people daily just telling me that the crime is so high because they will start feeding these immigrants, and then the immigrants are trying to break in their houses.
Right.
You know, so it's not safe. You get what I'm saying? So, and for her to sit there and say in that little interview thing where they kept posting that she agreed with everything that Biden did, that killed her right there because the people want change. They want change.
And with her, what it was a matter of, like that gift analogy, she had printed wrapping paper. It made everybody feel good. But if we would have opened that box and let her, we would find out we ain't got nothing but a pile of shit. And that's all we would have been dealing with. That's all we would have been dealing with. Her policy's not there. She's not there. Speaking of China, do you know who we owe the most money to more than anybody? What other nation?
And that's been forever though.
China, exactly. If they decide to call in their stuff
with the gold,
yeah. She can't. She couldn't hang with Putin. She couldn't sit across.
And that's and Kirk. That's what I was saying too. Women think with their heart, majority of them. They identify. The other countries will identify more with that man's evil face, and they're going against the Putin, going against, he identified with them. So they'll respect us more with him. And so I understand when George and Curtis, we kind of dodged a bullet, even though, like he say, both candidates got their issues. But it ain't about, it's not about what I've done in the past. It ain't about whether I called her a slut, a hoe, or a bitch. That don't matter. But am I able to keep a stable economy? Because I can think what I want. A lot of us have our own prejudice somebody, you know, everybody got a little prejudice somewhere in them. I don't care how wholesome they act.
Absolutely.
When you see a redneck chewing tobacco, talking a certain way, spitting and saying the word boy, whether your best friend white or not, you still gonna see that redneck as a damn redneck. And if he say something, you will call you a boy. You're gonna punch him in his face. But your best friend that live next door, y'all eat together. He sends you fish. He cuts up the deer for you and whatever. So y'all cool. So all of us have a little of that in us.
Right.
You know, so what he said and what he did, he touched the butt, he did this, he did that, he said that didn't matter to the main focus. It boiled down to the economy. And like Curtis, Jordan, everybody saying, our pockets were better when he was in office.
And another thing,
the economy ran smoother when he was in office. Now, as far as him opening up and drilling fields for the oil, I don't care about that. Even though I know Cootie Wall Street, he loves that. My thing is just get the economy back where when I go to the store and I want to spend $300, I'm bringing more home than 25 items. I want to be able to put 45 to 50 in there like I did back in 2016. You know, that's my thing.
And back when he was in office, you know, I run a nonprofit. I started 6 years ago, Med Association, and we advocate for men's rights, men's mental health.
And he opened up for everybody to get these businesses. That when he got those PPP loans, even though Obama probably put the stimulus thing in there because Obama did give the first small little 1,300, 1,200, whatever stimulus checks back in the day. I remember that. Then the pandemic hit, and then Trump came with it later. But I think that whole thing was set up, though, that money was set aside during the Biden administration. I mean, during Obama's administration.
Obama, right.
So when he trickled it down and it came out, boom. But it was him who opened it up for everybody to do these business loans, and everybody came out with these fake PPP business. It was every beautician, so many barbers, so many car washes, so many everything that jumped out of woodwork. They got all this money. Then you were able to write that shit off. So you didn't got $50,000, $120-some thousand, and was able to write that shit off by signing a form and sending it in, or going online, filling things out and sending it in, and you don't owe nothing back.
The climate that he created was more conducive to doing business and to commerce and to capitalism. And to many of us as black men, we see now we can't expect society to help us. We got to help ourselves. And the first way to
I said that on the podcast last week. I was like, I really didn't care. I was more like Curtis. I didn't really care who win. It's the both of them got their issues. Both is the lesser of two evils. I didn't care because I'm gonna make sure that I stack my paper to make sure my family and I are fine with or without the government.
There you go.
And I always live like that. I always been a plan A, B, and C type of guy, and a possible D.
Right.
You know, I could care less. And at the end of the day, it's gonna boil down to
into politics anyway. Way back in the day, you be like,
it's gonna boil down to your local. Your local.
What did I say,
who
George?
your government is, who your senator is.
We just talked about that. We just
said that earlier today about the local election, the local officiating.
Right, that's important.
That's what counts. Because even when Trump got in there and he tried to do away with certain things, if your government didn't agree with that, they vetoed it. They didn't go through with it.
Absolutely. Yep. Exactly.
And so that's who you mainly need to get your ass out and vote, and they didn't. So now, since you sat your ass at home and was more or less focused on the goddamn president, didn't know who the damn senators in Congress or whatever was, you didn't vote. So guess what? We have a Republican president with a majority Republican Congress. So now what? Whatever this man wants to do, he can do.
Wow.
And that's the thing. That's the problem for me. I don't trust Trump with it because Trump's going to write things that can't be changed. That's going to be his whole agenda. He's going to make it where certain crimes won't be prosecuted, certain things that he's going to put in place that can't be fixed, and he's going to make it permanent. the fact that he's even running and is a felony and is a felon is crazy.
So guess what? That means with him in there, he's gonna have to lessen the charges on our felons. They're gonna be able to get jobs now because it can't go one way.
He can't even vote for
Speaking of felons, welcome home, young thug. You know what I'm saying? He there, he at home. We just taking a little break here. Well, welcome home. But he free. But is he really free? Because my thing is, when I seen this, they don't have nothing concrete on this dude. Nothing concrete on this dude. But you finna ride a 15-year probation. That if you violate, you got 40 years served.
Yep.
I understand you want to come home. Don't get me wrong. Come home. Be with your family. You've been gone, what, 2 years? This is the longest trial in the history. And you didn't prove nothing. Me personally, I want my life back. You got to compensate me for being in this cell for 2 years. Right. You get what I'm saying? So I understand you would do anything to get home.
Damn. What was he charged with?
Nothing. They was trying to get him for racketeering, gang related drug selling and murder, but didn't get nothing on this man. Nothing.
Wow.
And he took that plea to come home, and he paid his attorney $1 million to get 15-year probation on a 40-year sentence.
Damn.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So that was crazy to me. But now that Trump is a felon, whatever, and he's in office, that's gonna lessen the charges to the people that gets this. Maybe Diddy, maybe he'll pardon Diddy before he get out of office. You don't know. So I mean, you gotta find, like you used to say, Kurt, you gotta find that silver lining now. You was the silver lining man. We gotta find the silver lining in it, you know.
Wow.
It's the silver lining. So I'm not messed up about his views, because I'm like, it's just 4 years, y'all. Like I said on one of my posts, it's 4 years that can extend to maybe 6. Yeah. 4 years fly like this now, bro. The time is not like it used to be. When all of us was 10 and 12 years old, when your mom and them tell you y'all leaving in an hour, you had time to take a bath, get dressed, and take a nap before you had to get in the car to go. Right now, if you look at that clock and they say you got an hour, nigga, that hour ain't but 25 minutes. By the time you get out the tub, get dressed, your heart thumping because you got to get in the car and you got to drive. So that 4 years that can extend to 6 after he leave, that's nothing. But I understand what Kirk's saying and some of the things he's going to lock. Now, the only thing that I 100% disagree with Trump that I read that was on his policy is he's going to try to get rid of affordable health care. Now, independent, being that you're independent and you're making money, when it's time to go to the doctor, people that have corporate jobs, my job will probably pay $800 for cancer screening, for a full screening. But then that man can walk off the street with an independent job who makes too much money to be on welfare to get the health care from the government. He'll pay $300. But if he removed the affordable health care, you got to pay what everybody else pays.
You talking about the Affordable Health Care Act?
Yeah.
Well,
they say he wants to. When policy said something about ending the affordable health care.
Well, it needs to be revamped anyway because it's not effective. It's too expensive for people that really need it.
It's still expensive, but $300 and you getting a full exam coming out of pocket, whereas the corporate business will pay $600. I have to pay $600 if I go and get whatever. They'll pay 80%. I pay the rest, and my pay ended up being around $600 to get a full whatever. But the man out the street with a business can walk in there and get it for $380, $386.
Right.
You know, which makes you say, damn, I'm paying more with insurance than the man who don't have insurance, but he's paying out of pocket. So they made it affordable for him.
Wow.
So, and I look at the elderly and the independent business people, which all of us, and I'm sure you know that that does come in when you get that little help from certain healthcare providers, but you just pay $300 and you get a full screening. Now you pay $50 and you get a tooth extracted, when tooth extractions are right at $200 and $300 now. But that man who walk in there with cash in his pocket, go up in there to that doctor, pay $50, and he getting his out. Make you say, "Hell, I might as well cancel my work insurance and just go in there and pay $50 instead of paying that damn $200 and $300 to get a tooth extracted."
Yeah, but that's been an issue for many, many years. And as a person that has several physical disabilities, I'm familiar with the insurance system, how it works, and I think the Affordable Care Act needs to be looked at and revamped to be more effective, because I know people that work in the healthcare industry and they say it's not that effective. That on the ground, on the boots on the ground level, it doesn't do that good. And they've been very vocal. So I say, let's take this opportunity to look at it, try to be and make it something better and more accessible to more people. See, we have opportunities. You know, we have to take advantage of opportunities now that he's going to be in office to try to work with the Republican Party and build ourselves up. See, we've had an adversarial relationship with the Republican Party. Why? If the Republican Party is smart, what they will do is take this election and use it to not cater to us, but to win us over by enacting policies that are going to be beneficial to us. They can secure their voter base if they're smart. Now that I don't know, that remains to be seen. But as far as the Affordable Health Care Act, it needs to be looked at and revamped anyway. So why not? Let's just take this opportunity to do it. Let's look at some social programs that are not effective, that maybe we can make them more cost effective. Because socially, I'm pretty liberal, but fiscally, I'm pretty conservative. I call myself a conservative now. Okay, so and one thing we need to do in the next 4 years while he's in office is get rid of this woke culture, get rid of this cancel culture. Get rid of this feminization of men and feminization of black men that's so popular. We don't need to be like Van Jones. We don't need to be like Steve Harvey. Stop trumping them men up in front of us as far as this being some sort of sign of masculinity. Stop doing that. This woke stuff is killing us. It's killing us. We got to stop this.
What you gotta say? What you gotta say, Henry? Henry looking like y'all some damn fools. What Grace Henry, which acknowledge us right quick, Henry. What you gotta say, Kirk Henry?
Oh, all these soft ass men. It's crazy, man. Now
that's what I disagree with too, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, y'all. When I say I disagree, I mean you are who you are. But like George and Curtis saying, they got an issue with you pushing it on them. Let them see what they see and choose what we want to choose. Don't throw this at us and try to make us accept it as being a social norm. Now I didn't agree with that. When Biden was coming with, not Biden, when Obama was coming with that, I kind of paused. And all of this happened towards his second term, when he was getting ready to get in that sector. That first term, man, he was the man to go. He was in there, he was zipping out. But when it was time for him to do that second term, as soon as he won, here come all these, you can marry same-sex marriages and all that. You are who you are, do what you do, and stand proud on who you are and what you represent. But at the same time, respect the ones that go the other way,
right?
That's not into that. You do you. I don't think it was a commander-in-chief job to push that. And I had an issue with that. That's it. Not the individuals that are who you are, but the fact of the commander-in-chief pushing that on everyone, which now has it a norm where you can't watch a movie with your daughter or your son, or a series with your daughter or your son that's trying to grow up, that's confused on who they are, trying to come up in the world without a man kissing a man, a woman kissing a woman.
Well, what they're doing is the Democratic Party is trying to push on us acceptance instead of tolerance. They're not the same thing. Acceptance is not what we want. We don't have to accept a damn thing from any social group. We should have to tolerate it and let them live their life, but we ain't got to accept nothing. And now the society is pushing on, you must accept this. You must accept the rainbow flag. I ain't got to accept the damn thing. I got to tolerate it. I got to treat the person with respect and as a human being, but I ain't got to like it. I ain't got to accept it. But they won't push all this stuff on.
I agree with you. You ain't got to agree with it.
Right.
And nobody wants their rights to be taken, but at the same time, I don't want that shit pushed in my face.
Right. And they pushing it in our face. Yeah, they pushing.
But see, what they're probably saying is, hey, we've been watching heterosexual commercials and heterosexual movies and heterosexual films forever. Well, that's
not as much as it is now. Exactly. Not as much as it is now. Back in the day, the television, you will see them hold hands, you will see them look each other in the face, and then it'll fade to black. And you imagine he hit it for them men, not penises. You know, you imagined it. Now it's there. They got the man on top of the man, and he's rolling. We didn't see that. And even growing up, the people who were like that were more in the closet, and you kind of just assumed by how feminine they act, and you really didn't know. Mr. Washington, you really didn't. You didn't know. You just knew that they was a little feminine. Yeah. We used to say they took their mama titty too long.
Yeah, but it's so quick.
I think they wanted their votes. See,
can I say something?
That party became very popular because they had a voice. So if you increase, because it's clear that the LGBTQ is grooming kids from an early age. I'm talking about they have stuff in stores now that are targeted specifically for babies. How can you go into a store and buy a book that says gay BCs?
Right.
ABC.
So that's why
they are about to cut an executive order that will cut federal funding for any school that's going to push critical race theory, transgender insanity, and any inappropriate racial or sexual political content. They're talking about doing that, the Title IX protections they're doing. And they was trying to do it under the Biden administration rules, but it's based on the safeguards for the LGBT youth. And they're saying Trump's policies is going to follow that. They're also going to keep men out of women's sports too. They're trying to do a ban on gender women for participating in women's sports. They're talking about just like referring it to youth sports particularly. So these are the things that Trump is talking about doing right now. And that's going to be very critical when it comes to, things of that nature. Another thing, going back to Kamala Harris, I wish she'd have got a better vice president. I do not like that Elmer Fudd looking Tim Walz. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling him at all. She should have got Shapiro. That's what she should have got, Shapiro from Pennsylvania. That man was so good. But I think because of his Jewish heritage, because she's married a Jewish guy, that might have something to do with it. I'm not sure. It could have a lot to do with it. And then her being not black and everything, that might have something to do with that as well. You know, everybody thinks she's not black. And I know y'all heard of Candace Owens. And her research talking about how she is with her family, had a picture of her with her grandma saying that wasn't really her grandma because her grandma died when she was like 4 or 5 years old and all this other stuff. So,
but they want her grandma. They want her grandma in their picture. You know they don't.
Yeah, that what they said. It wasn't her grandma, right?
Candace, I'm just gonna say that Candace is hell.
Yeah, I know. She ain't no joke, boy. So, but nevertheless, we're just gonna see where it goes within the next 4 years, like you said.
Yeah, let's visit this same platform a year from now.
Yeah.
See what it looked like. Mark your calendar.
And like I say, I feel like, and I posted this on my pages, the world just wasn't ready for a woman president. Not yet. They think with their heart, and just like she didn't want to come out and speak at the end of the night. Right. A man would have choked that up, swallowed it, went out there, just like she sent a man out there to say it.
That was
when
classic.
She did that was such cowardness. And if she ran again, anybody I know, I'll say do not vote for her, because that was the worst thing that she ever could have done. And Hillary that's Clinton what will hurt her if she run again.
Hillary Clinton did the exact same thing. Hillary
should have done the
same thing. Back.
She shouldn't have done that.
The second time Donald Trump went against a woman and won. The second time he ran against a woman for office and won. That's amazing.
It was in his. He made history. He got more votes than Reagan did, And that's
I know
that's saying a whole lot,
popularity, man. Wow, popular.
and that's
Wow.
why I said, Kirk, listen, if she was, had she not pulled the Howard stunt and showed everybody who she really was,
Yeah.
had she not came out and spoke at this university where they was rallying behind her, they was there, she didn't come out. She sent somebody else out. So that got those people feeling some type of way. That got all her supporters all over the world feeling some type of way. That one moment. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. And she ran and hid when she lost.
I know.
So my thing was, had she came out and did her speech, let's just say she do her speech. Boom.
Right.
And she do the speech, we lost, we're gonna do this and that. Let's just say she done that last night and not today. Had she come back and ran the next presidential, 2028, let's just say she came back and she decided she wanted to run again. Like Curtis saying, popularity. If she would have came out, bowed down that night, said this and that and that, came back, she's not affiliated with Biden anymore because we didn't have 4 years to not see her and Biden connected. She does other things like put out books, do whatever like Michelle Obama's doing.
Right.
Then she decides to run. Guess what? She's the most popular because whoever else pop up, we don't know them. Just like he don't like Elmer Fudd. You get what I'm saying? We don't know these people. So she would have been the popular dog in the cage, and she would have been the one to win because we don't know nothing about them. And then the time that they have to promote, we wouldn't learn them, just like they didn't learn her. But she didn't think of it. She didn't think of it.
But D, in all fairness, it's just like I'm up 3 touchdowns, and I give you the ball with 2 minutes left, and I expect you to go win. Biden been done. See, and so to me, it proved that the Democrats were very lazy. They wasn't on their P's and Q's. They did not get ready for this election because they was running with it's like evaluating your talent. You look at who you got on the bench, right? And you look at who you got playing out there in the game right now, and you know he injured. You gotta remove him. You gotta remove him before he even get in the game. You gotta have a plan and a strategy. That's saying that
she's the current vice president of the United States. She should have already had a plan right then and there. Right. She was already inaugurated.
That proves you're aware of what's going on.
Well,
but Biden here's the thing. But still, Biden had the final say, and he was saying, I'm gonna run. I can beat him. He kept saying, I can beat him, when all he did was get up there and talk about his son, Bo.
Well, actually, the party should have, they're the ones that really make the decision. They're the ones that really say, hey, maybe you need to go sit down in your rocking chair and let's pivot and move in a different direction.
And they should have did that way before they did it, though.
You're correct. They knew and saw that Biden was declining. Absolutely. And they did not make the pivot soon enough. And another thing is, I just don't know if this was the election for her to run in, because we still have a misogynistic mindset when it comes to women and women being in charge. Unfortunately, and unfortunately, we have that mindset rather than looking at each candidate not for their race or for their gender, you know, and actually for their abilities.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One of the reasons I think that Barack Obama became popular in his time and he became like very popular and became president was because it was historical. It was unprecedented. This was a black man who never really ran for any office in that position and did it well. Maybe it was a gender situation, but at that time, because it's a different time now, I mean, we needed a new voice. We got tired of the Bush and the Reagan and all that time. But when this young, charismatic man came out, he spoke very eloquently. We liked that.
Really?
This goes back to feelings. So, I mean, Kamala Harris right now, I just think at that time, the qualifications wasn't there, but the women felt her. It was kind of a gender thing. You could say sexist, but the women, she kept saying women this, women that, my body, my position, my abortion rights, everything else. So every black woman would fall for that. With Barack Obama, there wasn't no vice president. He was just a senator from Illinois, came out of nowhere from the woodworks to the roots, and he became a very popular president. In this case of Kamala Harris, she's already in the White House. She's already there as the vice president that was picked by Biden. She didn't get a delegated vote. She got picked by him. And then all of a sudden she's getting selected as the president of the United States. We got to have some clarity, and we got to see where she's at when it comes to her leadership and her policies. And she's a smart woman. I just think, in my opinion, it comes down to the knowledge base of your people or how you get around people. And maybe a few more years she can do it. I just think this was too much too soon, probably. And and it could be just the fact that the popularity was, this is not, let me just say this. This is not the left wing versus the right wing. I was telling George, this is not left versus right. This is more likely the establishment versus the populace. That's what this is to me. That's what it is more likely to be. Popularity. So
if we
when I saw, and y'all need to go and look at her, the best overall, if a black person was to run besides Michelle Obama per se, but they'll feel like Obama, is behind her. Barack is behind, gonna be running it, so she won't get it. But if y'all go look at Abrams' resume from Georgia, she would, if a black woman was to win, she would have been the best one to win. And when Georgia didn't pick her to be governor,
I know, I hated that.
I don't know what's going on with Georgia. I got to figure out.
Georgia.
I need to really find out what happened with Georgia between the Obama administration and now. What happened?
It's the backwoods outskirts. No, it's the backwood outskirts that are coming in and actually voting for the Republicans, and we're not getting enough of the urban votes for women.
Okay.
So that's where it's coming in at. And another area that I feel that Democrats messed up, they did not target the young voters, the really young voters, the ones that were in college,
the college students.
And I was listening to the exit polls, and they were saying that one reason they voted for Trump because they liked his vibe. And when he went on the Joe Rogan show, so when he went on the,
like Curtis said,
when he went on the Joe Rogan show, they were able to identify with him because they liked the way he presented himself. So a lot of people are not really voting on the
values,
well, they're not really voting on the policies. They're not really voting on what these people stand for. They're voting on how those people make them feel.
And he's part of our culture too. I mean, this man is a WWE Hall of Famer, whatever the hell that means. I mean, this man has been on television for a very long time. He owns casinos. He is a part of culture, just like Quincy Jones. He's a part of us. He's a part of that. And you take him, you can't translate to that.
The Jeffersons, you name it. Any popular black show this man was on, and he helped fund those shows.
Thank you.
So,
business. He's standing on business. He's standing on business.
It was a different thing. So when someone's in business, someone knows how to promote, that man's a genius, bro. I'm just gonna be honest, whether we hate his views, what he says, whatever, because like I say, behind closed doors, we don't know what each other say about rednecks.
I know.
You don't know what I'll say about those white cops that beat the hell out of Ronald Green that we know and went to school with, beat the hell out of Ronald Green and watched him suffer and die right there. So we can't say what a person say. Just like when that Elam, whatever that little actor dude, somebody black had killed raped. Somebody black had raped somebody he knew, and he went walking the streets with a bat to kill the first black person that he saw. He was enraged. Right. You know, he was upset. Right. Emotions set in. You know what I'm saying? And to watch, if y'all not familiar with the Ronald Green case, it's all on YouTube. Google Ronald Green. We went to school with the guy. Go and check out how those cops sat around there beating him, and he's screaming, "I'm your brother, you know, I'm sorry." And it was a high-speed chase, and he wrecked his car. They beat him until he died. You know, he died. And the last words was, "I'm your brother, you know, I'm sorry, I'm your brother." That's what he was saying, and they beat him. It's all on YouTube. I know the family real well. They were actually on this podcast. But us seeing that, you don't know what our words will be. So Trump, he at the end of the day, he is from Mr. Bubba them times. He's what, 78, 80 something years old. They say the oldest president.
I know, 78, 79. Yeah, very old.
You know, so he came from, he wasn't far from that slavery, you know what I'm saying, era. So he's able to, you know, he identified. But at the same note, he funds a lot of black programs. He's involved with a lot of
that's not
black.
Correct. That's not correct.
Okay, what he done? What he hasn't done?
If you go back and you look at his history, there is, I'm not finding anything that says he directly funded any black programs or any black-led initiatives.
Well, what he did do back in the 80s when Al Sharpton was in New York trying to establish his organization, he made sure they had office space. He went out of his way to make sure.
He helped out Jesse Jackson too. He helped out Jesse Jackson.
And that's what I saw.
Yeah,
Jesse Jackson and
Al
Sharpton
out in New York City. I saw that on tape. Yeah, when he was endorsing Jesse, when he was running for president the first time.
Right.
I want to say 84 or something like that. So, I mean, but beyond that, yeah. I mean, I don't know beyond between then and then the fact he was running for president.
If you go back and you check Obama's credentials, man, he did a lot. He set Trump up to win when Trump came in. Trump inherited it was an easy transition. Things were already in place for him.
But he did mess it up, thank Lord. He did mess it up. All I'm going, I'm hoping.
Well, what I'm saying, it wasn't all his doing though.
It's never that way. But then every president is going to inherit somebody's administration. So it doesn't matter what you look up and inherit.
So the Biden administration inherited the economy off of a pandemic. Everything was
and they continue to mess it up even worse.
You know.
But under Trump, and like I say, this is a fact check. Black Americans are seeing unprecedented levels of economic success with a record low unemployment rate, more jobs, and higher incomes under Donald Trump.
And that's all that matters.
That's because of what Obama had already put in place.
What Obama had put in place.
Right.
It's all fine and good.
Trump restored funding and increased investments for historically black colleges, and y'all all remember that the HBC, the 14%. So
you know what Trump kept saying about Obama? We didn't have any bullets. I checked the vote. It was 0 bullets. We had. Don't give a damn about no bullets, man.
Yeah, he gave away everything. Yeah, I remember. I remember that we didn't have enough ammo to go to war.
We had 0 bullets.
He said he's not going to cut a penny for Social Security too, Medicare. It's not going to raise. I don't think he's going to raise the retirement age. They were talking about that too, raising it from 65 to probably 68 or something like that. But he says
President Trump worked with HBCUs to protect the 80 million.
It's going to take both
in the Title III carryover funding. I remember that.
Right.
You know, so like I say, they all have their gets gone, but I just feel like educational wise, experience wise, and with the country being in the state that it is now. And like I said, I remember going and getting that 5 pound of ground beef for $9.99, and now it's $18.99.
You ain't lying, man. That damn chicken, that chicken wings, man. Golly.
They $30-something. They $30-something. But at BJ's, I just went to BJ's yesterday. They're actually $18 and some cents. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're $18.99. But at first, I used to go in there and try to get them wings. They $32 and things like that at Sam's. But BJ's, they are $18.99, and we probably should have got two. I'm going back in the morning to get some more. But
listen to me. You need to hook up with my brother. Listen, man, I'm seriously. He lives in Stockbridge.
Yeah.
He knows everybody, man. And he gets wings. He bought a case of wings for $80.
We're talking about all sorts of
and
stuff.
it was,
I went to bed
it
earlier.
was 12 packs of wings, the party wings.
The $50 with the guy.
And all the meat is superb. You hear what he said? They the perfect size wing. They ain't them giant turkey wings that don't taste good. And in each pack, he said,
let me finish this call.
Anywhere from 22 to 26 wings. Party wings.
Okay.
And, they come from. You can look it up online. They come from farmer.
Only.com? No, I'm just kidding.
Boy.
It's this farm. It comes from. I had the name. I can't remember, but it's.
When you think of it, inbox it to me. But I think the bottom line, Austin, is no matter what her views were, I understand she didn't have that much. She didn't separate herself from the Biden administration. People was already tired of the Biden administration. Just like Hillary did not separate herself enough from Obama administration when people were tired of the Obama administration. Had Hillary had Kamala come out and said, unlike the current president, I won't do this. I won't do that. I will do this. Had she came out with more of that instead of trying to mudslide with the guru, the king of manipulation, that's where she failed. She should have separated herself from him, and she should have focused more on her policies, because the young people went toward Trump because they didn't know shit about her. What about her? Okay, so she's a woman. She's portraying as black, and like he said, Candace there was exploiting on that. She was portraying as black, so she trying to get the black votes by saying I'm black. Then she try to humble like she's so fucking broke, and she came from poverty, and to identify with the broke, the millions of broke Americans out there. I'm just saying, I see the flaws in all of them, but she just didn't give us enough to say she is who I want. And last night proved that. Last night proved it. They're not ready for a woman to be president here in America.
Is this country not ready for a woman to become president?
I don't know. The evidence would suggest it isn't. But also, when you look at the way that's got it. When Gail asked her first question, that's kind of what I'm wrestling with, which is that it's hard to pull apart all the different reasons people voted for the way they did, and you don't want to make that kind of charge when somebody made a voting decision that had nothing to do with gender. Yeah. But going back to your original point, when people said policy over person, when you take the policies and strip them of the candidates who supported them, polls overwhelmingly showed that Kamala Harris's policies were more popular. So it is, people say that. They also say things like negative ads don't work. I don't listen to them. They work. So it's very difficult. And I'm really hesitant to make snap judgments about exactly what happened at this moment. Yeah. But the question of whether America is ready for a woman and how people process a woman in a position of leadership and power, that is absolutely a part of the mix.
As a reporter, I believe you should always take into consideration questions about gender, identity, race, and how these issues and others background factor into people's decision when it comes to political decisions and votes. But we should remember that Vice President Kamala Harris was elected Vice President of the United States in 2020. The country has shown an openness to having a woman serve as Vice President of the United States. There's certainly an openness in America to female leadership. They have not broken through that glass ceiling. But they have shown an openness.
They just not quite ready, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here's the thing on it. Two things have to take place to get to us first to get a first woman president. One, the state of the rest of the world has to be at a certain point. We can't do this with a war in Ukraine. We can't do this with dealing with Russia. We can't do this with dealing with China. They're not going to elect a woman with all that going on. And second of all, and most importantly, it has to be the right woman. And Kamala just was not the right woman. When you boil it down to it, she was lacking. Okay, when I would see her in the teleprompter go out and she would just get lost, that didn't give me any confidence toward her. I knew then she's not cut out.
But can I put a theory in? Let me just put a theory in. Let me be hypothetical for a minute. Let's say if Joe Biden, instead of him dropping out of the race, he gets sick. He actually like collapses and whatever. And according to the Constitution, the vice president has to become president in case that happens, like if he dies or something like that. Let's say if that were to happen to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris happens to become the president of the United States for 4, 5, or 6 months. How would that turn out when it comes to the race elections and coming about again? You see how different that world will be trajectory-wise as opposed to him dropping out and having somebody coming in. She only had 107 days to prove to herself that she was a candidate. And she's vice president. One would think that she will qualify automatically for the 3 years she's been in office, been like a coattails behind President Biden at the time. But he actually dies, or he actually gets sick, and she becomes the president of the United States. Would this be a different outcome of an election if there was an election for her to be running for president?
Because hold up, Austin. I want Austin to answer that one. Hold up, Austin.
Yeah, and I don't think so because. Again, she was buried under everything that Biden had, the Biden administration had created, right?
Okay.
So that was already a negative against her. Mm-hmm. Number two, she's a woman, right?
Okay.
Unfortunately. So with those are two main strikes against her. So
why did they choose her then? I'm saying why did they
because they chose. I'm sorry, say that again.
Like I was telling them earlier before you came in, there was a group of women that came to Biden and had a list of who wants to help him out for his campaign to become president.
Right.
It was black women. It was black. One of them there were DEIs or whatever the case, but Kamala Harris' name was at the very bottom because she was not black. She was like Asian and Hindu, whatever. Biden picked her. And keep in mind, they went at it against each other at the primaries back in 2016. So why did he pick her anyway?
If we look at the optics, right? We look at the optics. She doesn't look totally black. Her hair doesn't look totally black. Her skin doesn't look totally black. So she's able to blend, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's the optics that are there. How do you think that a very dark-skinned, natural-haired woman would have fared if he would have selected her, right? How do you think?
I think that played a lot with Obama as well.
Oh man, that's like Beyonce is getting out of negative. Oh my
fair
goodness.
Skin,
yeah,
mixed, but more black because if your dad's black, you black. But yeah, so the fair skin helped him because the whites were able to identify. Okay. However, I was told that in the 60s and 70s, that the high yellow women struggled. And I didn't know this, that the high yellow women were hated upon more and disliked more by the whites than the dark-skinned women. And that was real crazy to me. When I found that,
Kelly Rowland gets less plaque
because I thought that they would more identify with them because they were more closer to their color, but that wasn't the case. They saw them as kind of a threat.
It was a threat.
Their men,
it was a threat because they could pass,
right?
And so, white men that actually wanted to dip their toe in the black pool, then they could use one of these women to satisfy that. So they were able to pass.
Okay.
So that's why they were threatened.
I didn't know that, man. I recently found it out by talking to, to mom, you know what I'm talking about. And I thought maybe she was, on both sides of the, but that wasn't the case. She was like, no, baby, they didn't pay me no mind. They was going after women that was blacker than that street out there. And I was like, but y'all closer to their color. So I guess that defeats it, because if they already got a white woman, why would they want a woman close to them? I guess.
So that goes back to slavery, right?
There's
they
always
had
been a lot
a
of
white woman in the house, right?
There's always been a lot of prejudice against light-skinned women.
I didn't know that, man. I promise you I didn't. Damn, I didn't know that.
But if we go back to slavery, right? They had a white woman in the house, but their flavor was they wanted to do this taboo thing with probably the darkest slave. You know?
Yeah. Right.
So
and then what happened culturally, they start pitting them against each other. If you was light skinned, you mostly got an opportunity to work inside the house,
and you was intelligent
versus outside of the house.
Okay.
And so that's what a term you the house nigga. So
wow.
So now you not only are you not really liked by your slave master, you're not liked by your own people.
Right. And this still goes on today. Those tactics instituted during slavery to control and manipulate us are still in play today, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, our mentality is still the same. So we're still stuck on that and captured by that. And
what do you mean? I don't think y'all actually think today it's a color war.
Yeah,
it's gonna always be one. It's gonna always be.
Because
I don't know, because like I say, the Wesley Snipes, Morris Chestnut, all them broke the roll. Dark skin is in. Dark skin is winning.
It's in because it's fashionable and popular. But if you go to the corner store and you see a light skinned chick and you see a dark skinned chick, it may be an issue. It's a lot of it is an inferiority complex that some of us have.
So if you take a dark skinned male and a light skinned male, you put them side by side and you walking down the street, who do you think that would strike the most fear in a
fear?
Okay.
Now that you say fear, you're right. Okay, I thought you was gonna say who would catch more eyes, because if I can go to my social media right now, dark skin, and then Austin, from with us being in school with the popular light skinned guys, they always say y'all cute to be dark skinned. Yeah, and we were getting just as many or more women than men. So they didn't see a color when it came to us, I guess, because it wasn't that many so-called nice looking, dark skinned guys. I don't know, but
it depends on what you're
I didn't think that today it would be a gender war. A color war. I thought it was more of a gender war, not color, because everybody is kind of equal now. You got women who like light skin, but it's more women who hollering dark skin now. And then the white guys the light skin think they more feminine or more, they be in the mirror more than them. But I'm like, hell, we used to be in the mirror down there 24/7. So
I know that's right. You look at Jason Tatum. You look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Which one is the most talented?
I know. Right. Wow.
And Jason
That's
Tatum
a good choice.
Jason Tatum get all the publicity.
Woo! I'll tell you. Hey, I got another question.
Go ahead.
Right, since we got Trump in office, what are each of y'all opinions about the Project 2025?
There you go. Thank you for bringing it up, because I forgot about it.
Yeah, dismantling the LGBT community. He's talking about get rid of the Department of Education. He's talking about just double tax cuts for the wealthy and DEI stuff.
I don't think much of it's going to come to pass. I think
Trump says he never had nothing to do with it. He said he don't know.
Right. I think a lot of it get kind of revamped, because they know that trying to present that as it is going to be a no-go. So I think they'll revamp it. They'll try to make it a little bit more centrist, which is something.
Same way you feel about the affordable health care.
Right. I think all this is going to be worked on.
Just revamp, similar, but
right. Because the Republicans are going, if they're smart, they're going to look at this as an opportunity to solidify their voter base. So they're going to be like, well, Project 2025, yeah, we want to do this, but we're going to have to tweak this. So come next election, hey, all these black men that voted for us last time, let's keep them.
Now, who used to do that and break everything down was that goddamn Pelosi. She would take whatever they have, and that heifer was looking for a reason.
Is she still alive?
Yeah,
that heifer was looking for a reason to say.
Nancy Pelosi.
She's still alive, right?
Yeah, she's back. She's back.
She's a fighter now, man. She's a fighter.
I know.
One thing that disgusts me about her campaign, it almost feels like she created a chasm between black men and black women.
You know what? I'm on your side for that. It's like a divisiveness. I agree with you on that level. It's like, and I kept saying feminism. It's like feminism, kind of like it's on the surface. It's not there, but it's like vote for me, women power, women struggles, AKAs, you name it, we're here. Black women, we're gonna go for you. That vibe is a sensitive way to me. I was thinking that. Of that.
Well,
it's like she never and most of her rallies. Women. She never talks about people. She says women. You know, I always hear that in some of these like speech engagements. It's always women empowerment, and I got no problem with the women empowerment. That's fine. But you're talking about a presidential candidate that has to be a bipartisan when it comes to Republicans and Democrats. You got to get along with both parties. There are men in this world. There are women in this world. There are transgenders, whatever the hell you want to call them. But I mean, women-based, it's like the hell. Just take us to Mars and let the Venus takes over the world, and all women can become. And I was taught that it was consensus-wise that there's 3-to-1 women to men in this world. It's more women than men. That's what I was always told.
It is.
So when you're promoting a club, what do you use?
Women.
Exactly. So you promote what? Ladies' night. So what does that do? That brings the men, right?
Sorry, Chantel.
So what I think she was trying to gain some ground on, if I can get these women that have these men, then I can bring both of them, because they would put pressure on their husband, boyfriend, whatever.
Same thing in church. The women, if the women feel that way, if they go into church, eventually they'll make their husbands go to church.
But
it's the same thing.
And that's why a lot of churches kind of promote women.
Absolutely.
I think the black church. I think the black church was disgusting in the way that they supported this woman and let them in the pulpit. You only see these Democrats come to black church every 4 years. You don't see them no other time.
he's right. He's gonna laugh. He is so right about that.
And like Lonnie said, this what Lonnie said.
He's so right.
He said, I hate to say it, but white women have always voted against their own interests, and they will continue to do so as long as the white husband, brother, son, or father is in charge. So meaning that if your man is man of the household and he say we voting for Trump, everybody in that damn household voting for Trump because he is the man of the house and he has the they usually sway. Now every now and then you get a woman who say, well, I like Kamala and I'm gonna do it. But as far as the white women, they more submissive and they go with the husband's vote.
Okay.
Right. Wow. You know, and that a lot of that happened tonight too. Last night, a lot of that happened too, because they was wondering where did these women that were supposed to be supporting her, you know, why they didn't, and that's because the husband said we're not supporting her.
Or maybe
and I was shocked to see that Latino that really, because they came out with the little racist stuff, but a lot of people had already early voted. Right. So when they came with that guy busted jokes saying Puerto Rico is floating and you know and all that, when he came out with that crazy, as we would say, rhetoric, when he came out with that, it didn't work because everybody had already pretty much voted.
Or they
the Latino voters was 46%. Well, it wasn't even supposed to be that. And like I say, she was supposed to get Pennsylvania, bro. She's supposed to have that.
I know.
She's
Did
supposed
you
to
see
get
the
Wisconsin.
beginning? The beginning
Wisconsin was in the bag.
Kamala was there, and then it kept rising. It kept rising after every vote. Yeah, I mean, she had it in the beginning. Then Trump.
When I stopped watching everything,
I saw that
all the states that this man won was light blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And I was looking at the numbers, and I was doing the math because I pulled up the map that show how many electorals. And I was like, okay, if she get Wisconsin, I posted on my page. If she get Wisconsin, and I was just shocked when Georgia just went under. But when she got, even with Georgia being gone, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and all of those were light blue when I stopped watching this stuff. It was light blue.
I know.
So how in the hell did that shit turn red? And it just reminded me of the Al Gore.
Yep.
I tell you how it turned red. I tell you how it turned red.
Tell me, because all of them turned red. That shot the shit out of me, bro.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think even black women saw through her bullshit, saw she was not a good candidate, and saw she ran a shitty campaign. Sorry.
Yeah, her campaign did suck kind of a little bit, Austin. And I understand, like I say, it was his story, which is Trump, his story, both versus history. And history just wasn't in the cards, just like history wasn't in the cards when Hillary ran. And neither one of them separated themselves from the party that was commander-in-chief before they ran.
Look, I agree that she ran a soft campaign. I agree with that. And it's probably because she came in at the back end with limited time. I don't know. They could have done something different. But if you look at the Latino vote, you'll see that it's disproportionate male versus female.
And male
Latinos. And I think I sent you that because now historically or anecdotally, the Latin male or Hispanic male is more misogynistic in their culture, right? So I don't know if that was the full story of why she didn't receive a lot of their votes.
But you know what? When you think about it,
Amish vote.
But when you think about it, Austin, in school, when we would get those exchange students, they wasn't messing with us. They went to the white side. I'm just saying, they didn't deal with us. And we had one or two, you know what I'm saying? A couple of them exchange students that came through. And then when we look up, they walking down the hall with Mr. Preppy. What's the guy from Saved by the Bell? Zach from Saved by the Bell.
They can they can use the same brush.
Yeah, I guess so. Because we was looking like she looked closer to our, us, but she went with them.
Okay, all right. So look at this. So when someone feels like they want to level up, what race do they go to?
It ain't us.
They go to
white,
a Caucasian. If you look at NBA, NFL, look at all those, and then you look at when Hispanics, the upper class Hispanics, what do they choose? What did Kamala choose? Kamala, she chose a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Right. So again, the optics. So they're feeling like they're leveling up when they take on a significant other that's not of color.
Well, like you said, at one while, white women was the reason for the decline of the black man in the black homes. White women.
It still is. If you put a white woman and a black woman in the room together, then probably 8 times out of 10, this person is going to choose the white woman.
How you feel about that, Kirk? Because
I feel about it. I'm gonna choose who treat me the best. I don't give a damn if she green.
Damn. Well, I want to say, yeah. I mean, social media. I think social media has a lot to do with it too.
Because I got a white woman, and I've been married twice to black women. But I'm not gonna put them all in
same basket
in one basket. All I can tell you is my life is 100% better.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth, my life, my lifestyle, and my life is 100% better. Not because of her, but because of us.
Right.
So Kurt almost putting out there, once you go white, you never go bite.
I get to leave my household without argument, without confrontation. I get to lead my household, and I'm talking about somebody that's so good to my kids. Not some of them, all of them. From who's been good to my ex-wives, has been good to my kids. She's just a good person.
Right.
I'd fuck with her if she was green, purple, orange. It wouldn't matter.
You know, and I mean, I can say that about my wife, right? My wife is a young, black, educated woman that allows me to be the person that I need to be in the household.
That's
we don't.
I was about to say that too, because even though mine is of color, she was raised by a grandma, and I'm the man. I'm literally the man of the house, and I could lose everything today, and guess what? I still call the shots in the house.
There you go.
Because it's not what I bring or whatever. It's who I am as a person, and she respects me as a leader. So I would never be in a relationship where I can't be who I am, because I've been who I am in watching men and my fathers, uncles, brothers run households, and I wouldn't have it no other way.
We know for a fact, you know for a fact, just like I know. I know a lot of black men very submissive to their women. Their women run shit.
Right.
They get handled, bro.
It's based on upbringing. I think it's upbringing. It's the way that you've been, and I hate to say raised, because that's how you raise chickens in a farm. It's how you've been reared by mom and dad.
Well, and also it's the pussification of the black man, because they want us to be like Van Jones and crying on the air and paying a white woman to have a baby with us. That's what they want us to be. They want us to be soft and weak so they control us and manipulate us and tell us what to do.
Yeah,
one thing they came out and told us to vote for her.
I got an example, but go ahead, and I got an example for y'all. Y'all got to hear this.
So
go ahead, Austin, and then I want Curtis to speak.
So one thing that we have to stop doing is allowing the vagina to run our minds and emotions. That's
Absolutely.
number one, because people always think that good pussy is hard to find. Good pussy is the best pussy that you have at that particular time. You can always train or assist your woman in knowing how to help you feel. So you can't continue to run after looks, big ass, big titties, and half wet pussy. And
the only thing about that, Austin, but we don't have that problem. I know I never had. But I hear a lot of guys say, but what if she just wore out? And when they wore out, you can't make no sloppy toppy, no sloppy cat fit around there if you ain't working with her. Now, if you blessed, you know what I'm saying? And y'all hate when I say this on the podcast. But like I say, when God was passing out penis, I think I jumped the line 2 or 3 times. I ain't getting none. God, you ain't getting me none. I ain't getting none. You miss me. But
so crazy.
But I get what you're saying. It's the best, for what you have, and you tell that woman how to please you. I understand.
Hey, what you trying to say, man? If you got a mental, you can't be fishing in a grinner hole, huh?
Hey, well, that's where you have to go out and try to find something that's a little bit
But
tighter.
tell those girls in social media stop shaking their asses, like putting their stuff, whatever, because they do it all the time. Like the women's shaking
That's beginning to be that's a turn off.
Yeah,
that's a fucking
they
freaking.
Do it, but they do it. OnlyFans,
That's
all
a turn
that.
off.
Yes.
And you know why?
And then my thing is, they do that, Curtis, and then you'll know her because she lives up the block or she works with you.
Right.
And then when we all get along in a room, we're on a break room, and then she tries to talk to you as if she wants to get to know you better. Right. She may be beautiful, she fit everything physically, but the fact that she been on there with them goddamn thongs on, bending over in front of the camera, shaking that ass, make you say, everybody that looked at you, as bad as I want to get with you, I don't know who done been in your DM, who you done messed with, who you borderline getting ready to get with. It's hell out there for the single man that's dating now. And like you say, that's a whole different topic. We offer everything. Like I say, we at the end. So at the end, we wrapping it up. We're gonna go through our sayings on what we think went wrong with the election, and then we're gonna talk about possible next discussions. Then we out. My thing is, I feel like she came in. She didn't let us know what her views was. She was more trying to mudsling with Trump when this is the master manipulator. So you didn't stand a chance at all with the route you went. She didn't separate her views from Biden at all. When I saw that commercial saying that when they asked her, do you agree? Would you change anything that's going on with Biden, is that? And she stood there dumbfoundedly shaking her head. No, I wouldn't change a thing. When she did that, I would have created, just like she jumped on that commercial when Trump did something, she came right back the same day with another commercial. When they showed that, I would have came back. At that time, no, I didn't. But now that I'm talking with the people, I'm seeing what they want. I'm putting people around me to provide the policies and blah, 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 and things that help you people. Boom, boom. Right. She started saying a little of that 2 weeks ago. Too much, too little, too late. And
that's a campaign manager wasn't prepared.
Exactly.
Not at all. Not at all.
See, your campaign manager do everything from damn near writing your speeches to everything, man. You got to have a sharp campaign manager.
And y'all, all of those little interviews she was doing and being in the locker room talking to the basketball players and how dumb she was sounding, you really didn't have that sense of you're who I want to run the country.
Right.
If you go back and look at those little speeches that she was giving and some of the questions they were asking her way back 2 years ago and the answers and last year that she was responding before she got in the president's seat, it ain't nobody that you would be comfortable with. And then she hid the whole while. Like they asked me on the podcast earlier, Austin, what did she do during her vice presidency? Just like all the other vice presidents, they was working on this. They was doing farm reform. They was doing a whole lot of stuff. What did she do? We don't know.
Went behind her president running mate. I'm talking about President Biden. That's all she did. She was like a lapdog right behind him. Doing just about every time you seen him, you seen her.
Austin, that stood out.
Well, she did a vote. She did a Senate split on something. Because whatever the Senate did a majority, I think Republicans and Democrats. And she was a tiebreaker. She did that one time, and she made history as the first female black vice president to do that. That was
black. You stop calling her black.
Okay, all right. Non-black. All right, George.
All right, Austin, what do you think? Because you were in her corner for a while to the end. Where do you think she went wrong? Besides we all agreed that the campaign manager and her campaign wasn't up to par, but what else did she fail at?
Well, I don't think that she really appealed to a lot of the people out there.
Why?
I think she tried. I guess number one, she just wasn't relatable, right? She wasn't relatable at all. To a
But
certain
she
extent.
came from a struggling family, and she took care of her mom that was dying.
Lies.
I understand that, but
Hey,
that
like any of
story,
us would do. If I remember your mom, my mom, whoever died, and we there to help. That's right. That's our job, right? Yeah. Are we doing anything special? I'm just asking. Just like the person who say, I got the little 23, 25-year-old female that's on here. Oh, I got my own car, I got my house, and I got me a good job, and y'all ain't nothing, and can't nobody say nothing to me. I'm like, bitch, you doing what you're supposed to do. You being a productive citizen in society. So you're not doing nothing special. Just like that guy who say, yeah, I just went and took my son shopping, got him some 5 pair of pants, a couple polos, and 3 pair of Jordans. Nigga, you doing what you're supposed to do. You taking care of your child. So you ain't doing nothing special. So her putting out how she stayed with her mom and helped her mom, that ain't, come on. I wasn't impressed.
So what she was trying to set up is her being caring, her being nurturing, and her growing from that space to the space that she's in now. So that was supposed to be her rags to success story. So, and it probably did go over a lot of people's head, but again, with her straddling the fence between black and Asian or Indian, I'm sorry, black and Indian, then that could have caused some disconnect.
Yeah.
So, and then again,
has she been more genuine? Probably. You think I am who I am and what I am, and you like me because I'm the best person suitable to run the country instead of trying to squeeze in every box that's Indian, like they show the commercials with her. I mean, yeah, with her doing the cook show or something. Yeah, you make Indian. Yeah, I'm Indian. Then in the black community, yeah, I'm black. So just be yourself. I am who I am. Boom, here's my father. Boom, here's my mother, and here am I.
But really, she is a part of both worlds, right? She's a part of both worlds. So
is her daddy really black?
He's
a white Jamaican. He's one of those white Jamaicans.
So
he a white Jamaican?
Yeah, like they have white Asians in Jamaica. I mean, they have Asian Jamaicans. They have people that came from other countries that live in Jamaica.
Okay.
Just like in the U.S., they
come from the French. They come from the French.
And her mother was Indian, right?
Yeah, her mother's full Indian. Her father was a white Jamaican.
Yeah. So
okay.
whatever her background was, we weren't able to connect there. What she should have, or what I would have preferred her to stand on, is her background, her education, her time in California as the DA, and how she was going to propel from the Biden administration.
Right.
That she was going to go above what Biden did to try to correct the economy, try to help or reach out and help the middle class a little bit more, right?
Well,
you know,
she came out with that toward the very end 2 weeks ago, and it just wasn't enough. But she came out with that, but it was at the very, very end, bro.
No, at the beginning, that's something that she always put out there, but she didn't put enough information out there to say how she was going to help.
That's what was the last 2 weeks.
How you gonna do it? That's the thing.
I mean, towards the end, by taxing this, taxing that, doing this, doing away with that, but that came at the very damn end. She should have came with all of that at the beginning, through all the debates, instead of trying to say, and he did this, and he did that.
I know.
That's what killed it.
When you sell a car, you got to do everything you can to imply and to implore to that other person that it is worth the value of that purchase. You got to be a great, great salesman to do that. Donald Trump is the best salesman when it comes to something like that. Now, that doesn't mean I like him. I don't have to like anything he does. But if that man can sweet talk me into buying the country or getting abortion rights done or getting something done with healthcare, I'm going to buy what he sells. That man can talk about me like till the cows come home. Kamala Harris did not have that. She just didn't have it to me. Oh, yeah, she made good speeches. It seems like the speeches were manufactured. She said the same thing like 100 times of the same old stuff. But it was effective to certain people until you heard it 100 times. The woman is smart. I'm not saying she's dumb. She's not at all in any stretch. But in that Herculean effort on trying to better us and trying to better the country in itself, I just don't think the timing was right. And in my estimation, I just didn't think the pitch on becoming the first female president was on time and at the right time to do this. And I just think the qualifications wasn't there. I just don't think so. Now, that doesn't mean she can't do it again because she's, 59, 60 years old. So let's say in 4 years, she does it again. She probably goes against J.D. Vance because now J.D. Vance is the vice president. And probably, I'm going to say Tulsi Gabbard. She might go against that. Now she's got a wealth of knowledge. Now she's got that experience to do this. But right now, she didn't sell me the card that I was looking for. As a voter, she didn't sell me to a point for her to get the vote on the effectiveness of how she is. I mean, I would have been sold by Captain Kangaroo or Elmer Fudd or anybody else, but not with her. I mean, again, very good politician, very good probably defense attorney, whatever that comes from. But if you're trying to run the country on the nation's top job, no, and I don't want to hear about this woman or man or DEI or politics in terms of identity. It's just the fact of the effectiveness wasn't there because the car she was trying to sell me, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy what she sold. That was my opinion. Now, that doesn't mean I like Trump either because of his fascist ways and stuff, but the man was effective. He was effective of what he says. And again, what we said at the beginning, this is before you came, Austin, feelings. Feelings is going to win.
That man took a bullet for his country, bro.
Mm-hmm. I heard when you said that, and he threw up the Black Power fist, but he also plays YMCA.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. Kirkland Henry. Let me hear your closing on the.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. So I just feel like
because you were a Kamala supporter as well. What do you think it happened, and why you think it was such a large margin of her not winning?
I think she inherited the race too late. I think they didn't have a clear vision of how they were going to get things done, and it's been this way through the whole campaign. Not only through the campaign, through even the Biden administration. I just don't think I don't know if it's the people they had in place that the things that they wanted to get done, they didn't get done. And they didn't have a clear, like the border was a huge issue, which Trump kept beating them on. That they was just letting people come into the country, just walking in with no effort. You could just say, hey, I'm going to America and just walk in. And because so many people have flooded into the country, they didn't have an answer for it. She didn't have an answer for it. So whether Trump was telling lies or telling the truth, he kept it in the forefront.
Right.
Because most people already know how they feel about foreigners. They're stealing our jobs. They're killing
They're killing black jobs.
They're stealing black jobs.
Yeah. So he kept hounding on that in every commercial. He kept hounding on that, and reminding people. And especially what's happened in some of these states like Chicago, like you said. It touched home for people who may have been leaning forward, been leaning toward voting Democratic. They wanted these issues resolved. See, and it's just been going on too long. Even all of that, we're sending all of these monies to Ukraine. Things just they had no answer.
Like that. Right.
They had
and she got that jacket got put on her.
And for that, see when you got a whole bunch of problems to solve, you got to start with the smallest and eliminate them because they'll take the less time. That's what I learned as a technician. I had a lot of complex jobs that I had to solve. So I would dictate, okay, well, I'm going to go to this easy one first. Get that out the way. That's fixed. That's done. And then you only got one or two problems that you can delegate your thoughts and your ideas on versus trying to deal with all the big stuff at one time. And it's just too much to deal with. Because while you're trying to deal with the big problems, the smaller problems will just keep coming in. They keep coming in. And I just think that whole 4 years of democracy, it wasn't handled right because of
would
I'm
you
ready to
say
see.
worst president ever, Henry, that you've seen?
I don't know if it's the worst president ever, but I just think coming off a pandemic, it was just the worst. It was the worst timing.
Who's been worse than Biden since of all the presidents you know?
Oh, it's been some out there. Definitely.
Let's see.
The Fords. The Bushes.
Bushes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The ones that dropped us into recessions.
Yes.
Who was that? Who was that back in the 20s? The Great Recession time. It escapes me now.
Yeah.
But what I'm ready to see is this mass deportation thing. I'm ready to see these 18-wheelers with these cattle trucks backing up, taking people back to the border. I'm interested in seeing how that's going to work. I think that's one promise that he made during his campaign. That
I don't know, Austin, because they can make it hard for them to even get green cards now. And I know this because I'm part of the government. They can make it hard. You can't even get quality insurance now if you're not so they can make it hard on them. And
it's not the point of making it hard on them. I'm trying to see how he's going to gather
get them back.
all these undocumented people to go back out of the borders since they're here. How are you going to find them? How are you going to locate them?
Saying if you don't have this, and we find out you going. It's kind of like, if you don't have it.
So it goes back to like being a police state. So you're saying that you can stop and frisk. It's going to be a nationwide stop and frisk like it was in New York at a period of time.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But
because we know a lot of the jobs. We know a lot of the jobs that are out there that the Hispanics do, the undocumented Hispanics do. We don't want them jobs, man.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I don't know what black jobs he was talking about. Right, I don't know what black jobs he was talking about. But those jobs that they're taking, I don't want to work. Neither one of my degrees have prepared me to do those jobs that they're doing. Right, so that we benefit in a sense from a few of them being over.
I hope you don't take all of them because I'm thinking about going from the ground up, getting a house built here in another year or so, and I want to give me about 6 of them, and I just
quit.
I lay down the lumber and my sheetrock and show them that plan and get it up in about 3 or 4 weeks. Right. So I hope he don't send all of them back. Get a 6-pack of beer and maybe $5,000-$10,000.
Dude, when it come to building a house, man, they different, bro.
Yeah.
When it come to putting a roof on, they'll do 2 or 3 roofs in a day, bro. They
Yeah, man. Do not
different.
So
that.
here's the thing, because it's passed down from generation to generation. They're teaching their children
That's
something
a trade.
that we're not
that's a
doing.
trade to them.
Right. Something that
That's
we're
like
not
telling
doing.
you that I bet you they dad. If you want to get to America, you need to learn how to do this.
That's that black man conditioning. That's all what that is. That's not government. That's between us doing that. That's us black folks. We're not working together like we should. That's why the Chinese can work together. That's why the Mexicans can work together. That's why the Arabs can work together. It's all about conditioning for that generational wealth, where you're coming from with that. And I'm hoping the administration can work something out with us on that. What are those life insurance calls? Those IUDs? I hope they come out with something that we can try to do that and procreate those things.
And I'll kind of say this and just get my piece on out the way. You know, I'll sum it up like this. You know, I know the narrative that many women want to espouse is that it was a matter of misogyny. I can't speak for every other guy. I only speak for myself. I'm not misogynistic at all. I just don't feel like she's qualified. Now, if Michelle was running and had a platform, I'd have easily voted for her.
She's not qualified.
Exactly. I'm saying if she was qualified.
Okay.
But this woman, every time I saw an interview, she sounded dumb. She sounds dumb. I'm not saying she is dumb, but she sounded very, very dumb. She sounded unprepared. She sounded weak. She sounded unsure of herself. And those are not the qualities that make me think president. Man, woman, beast, dog, pig, whatever. You have to have those certain qualities. Mm-hmm. And also, we as black men were left out of the equation. Our issues were not spoken to. Our real issues.
Can I ask you one thing? I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
What does she do good then?
Pandering. No, let me stop.
Yeah, pandering to the alphabet people, pandering to women.
I'm starting something.
That's what she does good.
You don't think she's intelligent?
No, she sounded very dumb on those interviews. The interview with the teleprompter went out. You're president. You're supposed to be able to roll with that. You can't. That means you can't think on your feet. So
that was nothing that was on the surface, man. That was nothing that hit the foundation. I wanted something that hit the foundation for me to vote. You know what I mean? And
because Trump is loud, boisterous, and shows his gimmicky side, then we're saying that he was more qualified.
I'm not even talking about Trump.
Anybody sound dumber than that dude?
I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm talking about her. I'm talking about what she gave me. I went into
I understand what you're saying, but I'm looking at the contrast, right? So if you're saying that
I'd rather deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't know, and I don't know this one. So when I come down to it, I would never rise for Kamala. I gave her a shot. Here's the thing: at the end of the day, when it happened, because I've been dealing with shit all night from people about who I voted for. I voted my interest.
Both devils.
If you don't like me voting my interest, you can kiss my ass because I'm about to get my money. And Kamala ain't finna give me no money. She ain't finna give me no bag. I'm not LBGTQ.
See, Trump gonna give him money, and he say by any ways means necessary, he gonna get that money up under Trump. I'm
gonna get it.
So never mind. We're went down a whole another show. It'll be another 3 hours.
But yeah, George gonna get that money from Trump, and that's what he waiting on. Hey, and he ain't the only one waiting on that money, y'all.
George ain't the only one. Him to give it to me though. I'm not waiting.
George ain't the only one waiting on that money. Soon as that man won, did what they posted.
That's for the ladies too, I guess.
They want that money.
Oh my goodness!
And like I say, so it's interesting. And for the first time, I looked at the numbers, and I really wasn't disappointed per se. I was more shocked of the results.
Close it out now.
But I was cool at the same time because I saw what had been done under his thing, as far as economy-wise. All the protesting at the White House and all that ain't have nothing to do with me per se.
Right.
But the issues that the values that mattered to me was the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't, I was shocked that she lost in such a large margin. That got me, because I thought they'll still be counting, like I said, till tomorrow at least. But when that didn't happen, I was like, I'm still good, because I was good when he was in office compared to what it looks like now.
Right. So
that was my take on it. And similar to what George said, he'd rather deal with the devil he know besides the devil he don't know.
He definitely don't know. I like that too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Just like the dog, your neighbor's dog, you can handle the neighbor's dog, but then there's another dog 2 blocks up the road that look like the neighbor's dog. You ain't gonna run in their yard, but you're running the neighbor's yard because he gonna bark and charge at you. You don't know what that other one gonna do. So George is gonna keep it over here. Kind of like guys when they're dating, they rather go back to what they know instead of this new women that's out there. And I get that, and I understand that, because deal with the ones you kind of know than these new ones. So I kind of get that. So that's that. So
it takes Judge Joe Brown to talk about Kamala Harris. Remember Judge Joe Brown?
Yeah. I know he had a lot to say about it. He tore her ass up.
But he can't stand her. he literally hate her.
Well, Mr. Henry, Mr. Austin, Mr. Brooks, and Mr. Black, it's an honor to meet each and every one of you guys.
Hey, man, I enjoyed you, bro.
Keep it up.
You added an extra spice to it. I could tell that you came from the George camp, because y'all kind of had that same kind of vibe. And so
we need to put him down something. He's something else. We need to kind of tame him a little bit.
The last 2 months, he been showing his age. He used to be kind of silent, but the last 2 months, ain't no telling what's coming out. That dude, they're getting his feelings. I don't give a damn, y'all. I ain't never heard him say ass on the air.
What?
No.
Hey, how often does Chanel come in? Chanel, does she come in sometimes? Chanel Batiste?
Every blue moon, every blue moon, Chanel pop in. Yeah, especially when it's a more of a mental health type issue. Yeah, she'll come on then, and voice her opinion. But I need to check on Chanel. I know she moves. She been moving and things and busy. She say so. I'm gonna check in on her for the week out. But man, it's been a super pleasure having you come through, Curtis. Man, I like your vibe. I like your energy.
Yeah, I enjoyed you guys, man.
Yeah, appreciate
it. You definitely won't be a stranger. Trust me. Okay. So you'll probably be getting some inboxes and all that, because I send reels and things of what I'm thinking about talking about. So you'll be prepared when the topic come up.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook.
Send the link out early, D, because you can't get in, man. I sent a lot of times I couldn't join.
The link was actually out 2 or 3 days ago. It always say click on the link, and it's always on YouTube, the YouTube link.
Hey, some of
these
always
topics, right there. But I'll start inboxing you, because I have your inbox now. So I'll start inboxing it to you.
Yeah, some of these topics that we're gonna be discussing, if Black has the balls to go ahead and do it. Y'all,
I like that. I like the one you said about the vagina. I like to say about the vagina stuff. We need to talk about that one too.
Yeah,
it's not being controlled by the coochie.
It's gonna be some stuff that we get down and dirty about.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
He know, if I'm blessed in that area, I got some nice balls, so you ain't got to worry about the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we can tackle whatever. But on that note, Curtis, man, welcome to the team, bro. And
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Send me an inbox so you can receive the videos and the topics and the flyer and everything. And let's get it rolling, man. I feel like we've been knowing you, bro. You're a regular.
Thanks, man. I'm from Florida, Tallahassee. That's where I'm at. So
that's what's up.
Yeah,
Tallahassee, ain't that T-Pain there, man?
Yeah, I know, but I'm Alabama. Roll Tide, man, all day. Roll Tide.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, in football, Austin is Pittsburgh. I think me and Kurt Saints. And who you root for in football, George? You watch football, NFL?
No, but I'll just say the facto Cowboys. I just go with that.
I liked the Eagles, but now I'm all about the Ravens. I'm all about Baltimore now. The Ravens.
Okay, I'm LSU.
I got two teams. I'm rolling with the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
And I like the Philadelphia Eagles. But that dude, that young kid over in Washington, boy.
Yeah. Woo, he's good.
Hey.
He's good. He's good.
Hey, but fellas, I got to get out of here.
The LSU,
Jalen Daniels. Yeah.
Yep. LSU.
Well, I'm all about Derrick Henry, though. You know, Derrick Henry from
Louisiana. I think Austin like them Cowboys too. I think.
But don't you ever.
Who that like the Cowboys?
George like them. I know for sure. George like them.
The Cowboys trash.
I know,
like
man.
Mama Dove say, the Cowboys trash.
Yeah, I ain't worried. I don't play for them, so I ain't worried about it.
Oh, George, you crazy.
They trash.
Man, you
crazy. Straight trash. Ain't that what old boy say? And that's what I was telling them. That's what I was telling them about the Saints. The Saints losing, but they didn't have none of their starters, and we had we had no starters. Cowboys losing with all their starters. It's a difference. That's a different type of lose. You know,
bro.
But the Chiefs are still undefeated, right? The Chiefs, they still undefeated.
They're still undefeated, 8-0.
Dang.
And that was and I like them too, but I don't like to say it because they're winning left and right. But that's my other team. I like the Chiefs and I like the Saints. But
they're talking about Taylor Swift being there. It was a political move. They were saying that they won on purpose. It was rigged. So then Biden could win the election. But this time, if he ain't got sick. That's what everybody was saying. That's why the Chiefs were the Super Bowl champ because of Taylor Swift.
It's a lot of crookedness, man.
I got to say this too. You was talking about the second attempt by Donald Trump. Did you know a fun fact? That guy in the he was it wasn't assassination. It was an attempt at a golf course. The guy they arrested at that golf course for the assassination attempt, they said he was being interrogated by something. Turns out that he went to a Diddy party. And he said that he saw Diddy, Cassie, and some other person doing a threesome together, and they wanted him to do it. He said no. This was the same guy that tried to assassinate Donald Trump, some white, big old fat guy. So he was linked to a Diddy freak off. Look it up. Yeah. I'm not lying.
But they didn't kill him. They arrested him, right? Then the other one get killed. The one who shot him in the ear, they killed him, right?
The one that actually shot him got killed, but the one that attempted, he just got arrested. I don't know what happened. He's probably still in there. I'm not sure, but I saw that. I'm like, damn, he was linked to the Diddy freak offs. I'm like, man.
And y'all know it's something behind
Diddy
that.
on a whole nother level, man.
It's something behind that. It's more to it than what we seeing. I'm thinking they out to get bigger fish that was at the parties than they are about the one who threw the parties. Because my thing is, you mean to tell me I can't have a freak off in my own crib?
Thank you. Private,
you know. And then they were saying about the underage people that was there, but you had somebody watching that. So if it's underage people in there, that's their fault.
Right.
I'm just the host. I hired Kirk to check IDs. And then if you're a celebrity, you get passes into those anyway because it's publicity for your
it's your house, though, D. They're not gonna look at it that way. It's your house.
Right. Those dominoes about to fall down. They're about to go down.
Yeah,
it's your house, baby.
It's gonna fall. And like I say, that's another thing that we talk about in the intros before we get into the actual podcast.
Like for instance, D, if you own a club, right, and one of your bartenders serves somebody too many drinks, you can't go in there and say, "Well, I can't watch everybody."
I agree. Right. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to stand on. That's your bartender.
Integrated, right? Exactly. You're being under duress, under control, under something. I mean, I don't know, but all I know is that there's going to be more to come with this. It's going to be much more drama. I think that's the celebrities being involved in it. I keep hearing Chris Brown's name. I keep hearing what's that? Justin Bieber's name. J-Lo is in here somewhere. I heard J-Lo. That's probably why she did her outcry with Kamala Harris, talking about our lives. She might have. They might testify her. They might get her on the oath.
And they said Justin Bieber is just he's just going through it, man.
I know,
Yeah.
man. Wow.
They threw Usher in there.
Usher,
they done threw a lot of big names in there too, though.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, man.
They even trying to throw LeBron James' name in there.
I saw that. I saw that.
Why did TD Jakes step down if he wait? Why did he turn it over to his daughter if he didn't have nothing to hide from?
I got
generational wealth, man. Generational wealth. Come on.
Well, stand on. Hey, if you ain't did nothing, stand on that.
That's it. That's it. And Jaguar Wright, she always talks about stuff. But you know what's interesting? She never gets sued, though. She puts everybody under the bus. She never gets sued. Jaguar Wright. Oh, he did this and he did that.
You got a fact. That's a fact. At first, when she first started coming out, I thought she was hating.
Me too.
Because her career didn't do whatever, but
I know
she was so popular and she actually hung with these people.
I know.
So that's what separates her from the hating, because she was actually in their camp. She know Jay-Z personally. She know Diddy them personally. And she was saying this stuff 2 years before it started coming out.
Woo, I know, man.
I just recently saw an interview with some real pretty young lady. She looked like she said she was a singer. And she said she got invited. She used to kick it. She was trying to get her career jumped off. And she was at a party one time and she met the dude. He was a Prince. He was from over there.
I saw that. I saw that one. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was black and white. Yeah. It was a black and white one.
And he was a Prince.
I know.
And he said, "Hey, I want to take you to this party." And she came up with a limousine. She said, "We're going to Diddy house." She's like, "Shit, you know Diddy?" She's like, "Yeah, I know Diddy." And she said she went to the party, man. And said when you get there, he said she had a girlfriend with her. And she said they give you these when he wants you to come into the house. So you don't just get to go in the house. He point at specific ones that he wants to come into the house.
Wow.
And he's supposed to be a real Prince.
He went and met the Prince. And Prince said, "Hey, this is the one I brought for you." And so he told her, he said, "Look, take that terry cloth robe and them terry cloth slippers and put them on. I want you to come into the house." And she was like, she's trying to get her girlfriend. She said, "No, I don't want her. I want you." So she said she was like scared to go in there. And said, man, when she finally went in, she said a group of little real young kids, they were all grouped together. She could tell they was real underage. And then she said she looked in one of the rooms and she saw P. Diddy and the Prince in there. And she said the door was open, man. And she said she couldn't believe what she was seeing. And she was like, she was scared. So she ran looking for a friend. She was like, "You see that shit? Did you see that shit?"
Underage kids was in there too. Remember she said that?
She was trying to get the hell away. She said, man, she said, "Listen, I ain't gonna get no name. I ain't gonna say what they was doing. I'm just telling you that shit was way wild."
And who all was in there? Who she say she saw?
P. Diddy and the Prince.
Yeah, the Prince.
I don't think
she said a name.
The guy who she came with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's a real Prince.
Other people and a whole bunch of underage kids. And she said it was just so much wild shit going on in that mansion, man. She was just wanting to she was so creeped out. She's like, "I just want to get the shit out of here. I just want to get the fuck out."
See, Mr. Black, the narrative is the celebrities with the white parties are different from the freak out parties, what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
okay.
Come on in this room here. I got a woman here waiting for you. We're all ready. Let's go. This is probably what P. Diddy says. Either P. Diddy's gonna go in there with you and that lady, or it's gonna be you and her, and somehow, some way, P. Diddy's gonna wake up in the morning with you, with that lady drugged out, whatever. But that's the after party of the white party. That's the after party of the
gotcha.
Party.
Because I get it now, because I've heard several celebrities also say that they went and never seen none of that. But like you said, They didn't stay long enough for the after party because Marlon Wayans, a lot of them who was going, say, I ain't seen none of this stuff they talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But how they find 700, 800 dildos and vibrators? 700.
I mean, if that's what you into, you gotta have fresh vibrators for all these people. You gotta have. They probably have rabbits and what's the the rose and all that stuff. I mean, that's what you're into. Brand new. Here you go. And you because they probably keep them when they use them. They probably keep them and take them home.
And that's why he's hit with those RICO charges. Now, R. Kelly. Keep in mind, R. Kelly did this shit apparently by himself all along. He had no support assistance. That's why he's by himself. But in P. Diddy's case, not only he's got money, but he's got some people to help out, like the masseuse or probably the staff or the bodyguards, people who are administering all this stuff, the lotions and the what you call it, dildos, whatever. So if he going down, you know he's gonna be a Nino Brown. He's gonna run his mouth. He's gonna
Also,
I don't think he's gonna go all the way down like people think.
She also said that when she first got there,
yeah,
that a lot of these waiters and stuff, the waitresses walking around nude, passing out drinks.
Damn,
they just giving you they keep feeding you these cocktails. Just keep feeding you these cocktails, these mimosas.
Now
she said it'd be some shit in them.
Now the thing is, like you said, Mr. Black, it is his property. It is his party. No problem with that. But the problem lies with the underage portion of it and the sexual assault and the drugging part. And it's supposed to be videotaped too. So there you go. Now, why he videotapes it, I don't know. That's the issue, not the issue of having. You can have 1,000 freak offs at a house. We don't care about
real
that.
freak, man. That's why he video. That's what a real freak do. Man, you ain't
That
got no videos over there.
But the reason I say it's deeper.
I'm not that bold, man. I ain't that bold.
The reason I say it's deeper is the feds came in.
Yeah.
They got selective things.
And then he got the guns too. He's got the weapons.
They got selective things. They didn't come in there and raid like they would do and bust the door in, take everything out. They went in there with boxes to get certain things out.
Right.
And
they didn't tear the
I'm thinking it's certain people that's on these videos that means a lot to the world, to the government, or whatever.
They edited. They edited. That's why it's taking so long. They edited now, D.
Possibility. Possibility.
Yeah.
They try to protect. They try to protect something because of how it was done. It wasn't just a regular raid, and they knew which houses to hit because they didn't hit every house he got.
T.D. Jackson told him, "Y'all better call somebody."
I know. You don't ever do extortion. Extortion never works. Extortion never works. It never works.
I better not show up on one.
You can get all the money in the world. They're gonna squeal on you. I promise you that they will. I'm talking about extortion. Cassie is the hero. She's the hero in this case. So no matter how much money you pay, you know she's gonna squeal at some point. And that videotape of him at the hotel beating her up like that, that was it. He lost so many reputations and sponsorships and stuff like that. So yeah.
But and like I say, I don't condone none of that. But knowing people who have been in toxic relationships, knowing people personally that deal with women like that, a woman today, if your head ain't on tight, she would provoke you.
Yep.
And like she took something because if you look at the video, he ran and got his bag, whatever she took from him, and dashed it to go back in. Was like, don't touch my shit no more.
It was said that he had a bunch of money and he had some jewelry, his watch and his chain in that bag, and she took it.
See what I'm saying? I knew it was more to it.
That's why he jumped on.
They into it. They was fussing. That's your woman. Y'all always fussing and fighting behind closed doors, and he just lost it. And they did that shit in public and shit at the fan because if it was that bad, you would have cried a long time ago.
You come out the shower, you see your shit missing. You're like, where the fuck my shit at?
Yeah, that's
and you don't snap.
Yeah,
it's a phrase in everyday humanity that's called snapped.
Yep,
I flipped. Yep. And if you haven't been there before, Curtis, you'll get there. I know Kurt done been there. Right. And when you get older, you know how to calm yourself down and deal with it.
Right.
But I snapped, and Kurt, that's the reason I left.
Okay.
Because I snapped, and I got my own. I knew right then, because my whole thing is, if it comes to where you got a beater, you don't need her. That's my phrase. So when it came to where I snapped, and you know, I knew it was time to leave.
Right. Yeah.
So I think, and if you look at that video, the rage that was on this man's face, he was in the shower. She took his shit. He saw she had left, and he ran behind her and, bitch, give me my shit. And then he, you know, kicked it out. I mean, I don't condone it, but I understand. I'm like, I understand, because they'll do it to you, bro. Just like we were talking about Chad Ocho Cinco earlier.
Right.
How he got caught up in that situation, and now
the anger escalated. It escalated to a point of like it was just a confusion. That's something he couldn't control at that time. Like from the outside looking in, right?
And they're not looking at that, and that's the relationship that they probably have. There are certain women, and if you single, Curtis, there are certain women that you can actually date that's fucked up in their head. Like Cardi said, you gotta do this because you gotta fight him because you know he likes a toxic chick. There are chicks out there that don't feel like you love them unless you putting your hands on them, you squeezing them, you touch them out, you put in their head. That show them that you love them.
Right. Miss Chalet was like that. She said that. She said that too. What's his name? Not Dr. Dre. What's the other guy named Suge Knight? But you don't beat me, that means you don't love me. I'm like, what? That's what she said.
Yeah,
she said,
and the younger generation, 35s and under, 34s and under, they think like that. A lot of them think like, especially the 28s.
Wow.
If you don't put your hand on them, curse them out, mad every day, sit up, sit your, you know, if you ain't talking to them, some type of gangster whatever, you're a wimp. You ain't man enough. You're
a sissy. I know.
Ussy. Yeah. And so you get caught up in that. And just like I played the video with the Chad Ocho thing, that girl was talking to him, that woman talking to him like he ain't nothing. And being that he just came off of the little Evelyn thing that was all in the news for several years about him putting his hand on her, he trying to tread light. But when you dealing with these so-called thinking they pretty privileged women, they feel like I don't need you, so I can get this person, that person, so they treat this other person this type of way. And I just think the Cassie situation and the fact that she went through that all those years and didn't say that. Same way I feel with the R. Kelly people. They had keys to get in and out of his house. How is it kidnapping? They go into concerts. They at the mall shopping. You mean to tell me you can't go in the mall, see somebody with a phone and say, hey, let me use your phone right quick. Hey, he got me. I'm at the mall. Come pick me up.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to go home.
They didn't want to leave. So I just think the fact that, you know, it goes back to what they're saying about the masters.
They wouldn't even answer the phone. Their parents were
trying to get in touch with them. Some of them, their mothers was trying to get them back home. They asked them to come home. One girl would leave. The main one that's supposed to be pregnant by him and had the baby, she would go home on a weekend and chill with the family and go back. But they don't bring that to the forefront because they want us to see the monster that got off 20 years ago.
I know.
He
basically got tried for the same thing twice. He just got some bomb ass attorneys because it ain't no way that
just like they did OJ. They did just like OJ. His second when he went to prison, it wasn't for what he did for stealing his stuff back or so-called kidnapping them guys or holding them guys hostage. It was for what they thought he got away when he supposedly killed.
That's what they said. That judge had a lot of leniency on them. The judgment on what he did before. The judge was like, "No, it would." And it had nothing to do with the crime that would happen back then. I think it did. She tried to send
that's why she gave him the same amount of time as he would have served.
Wow. And don't forget about Bill Cosby too.
All of that was related.
Exactly.
And like we be saying, and like I say, we often bring up, what's the difference in Hugh Hefner and R. Kelly besides color? What's the difference? What's the difference?
It is just as old as the Hollywood system it is, man.
Dude, because even that Kendra chick that came out, had her own reality show, Hank and Kendra.
Yeah, I know who she is,
was 16, Kendra or whatever. She was 16 years old in the mansion.
Wow.
In Hugh Hefner's mansion.
Wow.
And she said it live on her show. 16, 17 years old in the mansion. Sleeping with that dude.
He was going to get some. He was gonna get some. He don't give a damn.
Kevin Samuels, where are you?
You could have came there with your husband or whatever. You could have been a real model, a Playboy model, all of that. A Playboy bunny, all of that. He smashed.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can Google that Kendra chick, and she said, I think she said she was 16 when she first went into the mansion. And I'm like,
dating thing. She does the dating site thing. She trying to set those girls up with guys or something. She's like the setup lady.
I don't know what to do.
Kendra something. Kendra G. Is that what it is? Kendra G?
I think so.
Yeah. She sets up dates. She does like dates. Like this girl's from such and such. She's got like 5 kids with 4 different guys, and they're looking for dates. She's supposed to be a setup lady. Something like that. And
her husband ended up messing with a transvestite, and that's why they broke up or whatever. Was going through issues. He said he didn't know.
Yeah.
But if you look at them now, especially the ones in Georgia, LA, and I think Dallas now, you really have to do your research. That's why I say it's hell on a brother that's out there trying to blind date the day, bro.
I know. Social media. It's just, it's a brainwashing thing, man. The woman shaking her butt on TikTok. It's like it's hard to digest. The traditional ways are not there anymore. We can't go and just see somebody and just say hi, get a phone number, and try the old way. I mean, sex is sex, but it is so easy to get it right now. You just get on the phone and we'll go to those dating sites.
So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Your name Curtis?
Yeah, Curtis, yes.
Where you from?
Alabama.
Okay. You married now?
No, I'm single.
Okay. So, what do you do for a living?
I'm an independent adjuster. I'm a appraiser and adjuster for commercial. I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
Okay, you like a claim adjuster, whatever. Independent claim adjuster.
Right.
Okay. So you're well spoken. First of all,
I appreciate it.
Tell that you have a level of education or intelligence, whether you got college or not. But you speak well.
I appreciate it, man.
So I got sons and that you kind of remind me of. And he'll tell you, my boys are sharp as hell, but they geeky.
Okay.
And you'll find what it took for them to get
right
sharp women is crazy.
Oh wow. Really?
And I'm talking about because they ain't in the hip fact. They ain't that cool hip type shit.
Right.
They clean cut, hard working, very intelligent, very smart, just good dudes. No baby mamas, no jail, no drugs, none of that shit. They just good, hard, honest, hard working men.
I know. And
you'd be surprised at the women that would pass them over.
Oh, yeah.
We had a discussion about I told them, I told a group of women, I said, you bitches, y'all want the nigga that could fuck your brains out. See, he could sling dick all day because that's his job. Because he ain't got no real job. See, he hip. He got all the cool shit. He got all the swag. He don't work though. You his payday. Y'all will sign up for that all day, every day.
Yep.
But when you see a sharp brother that's got his shit together, oh, he too square.
Exactly.
So they had a hard time finding solid mates, man. And it was just alarming because they're very handsome.
Yeah, it's a jungle. It is.
But two of them are married now, and they chose one of them married an actress. The other one married a young lady. She's
okay.
She worked for the government. Well, she worked for.
So it turned out well for your kids. Okay, it turned out well.
So
there was like a poetic justice at the end, a silver lining.
Well, hey man, I'm still pushing, man.
Yeah, I know.
I had 6, so I'm trying to get them all to.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the number one trait, in my opinion, what has these girls go after these guys is confidence. I think if you got confidence, you could get anything you want to get, from from coochie to whatever you need as far as a job. If you don't have that confidence, you don't have that swag, as they say, you can hang it up. But
and you know what? I found that out about me on the podcast, because I didn't know, because I told them, ever since, I'm gonna say, Head Start and kindergarten, I always had 2 or more girlfriends. And I remember their names from Head Start and kindergarten.
Wow.
I had a white one and a black one in kindergarten. And I remember their names like it was yesterday.
You ain't just got hot.
And right. And I was wondering, and I was talking with them, because women ain't never been an issue. I never struck anybody I just look and I really want, I got. Okay. And so they was like, one guy on here, and he was a Muslim. He said, his name Brandon, out of Dallas. He said, well, Black, you don't think that your confidence has something to do with that? And I was like, no, I was just born, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He said, well, where do you think you got your confidence from? And I was like, I never looked at it as confidence. I thought, just me, personality, whatever. He said, but it dawned on me that I remember at 4 and 5 years old, my mom was dressing me, putting my belt around me and pushing my shirt and my pants, telling me that it's going to be people out there that's going to talk about you. It's going to be people that's going to do this and that and that, but you are this and you are that. So they instilled confidence in me from 4 years old, that carried on to my junior high school, college. And so when I went through all of that, I was like, okay, so I didn't know where it came from, but I just like, women never been a problem. Any woman I ever just really, really wanted, I'm able to point, do this, they come, and I didn't walk around with my head down and all that shit. I walked through the school because I ran the school. I was the school. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was a DJ. I threw parties, and then I went to college doing the same thing with the Alphas. So it was like I was always active and had a movement going. And so when I walk in the building, they like LL say, when I walk in the building, they be like, yo, there he go. That was me and my crew. Me, Renard, and I got posts that they post on Facebook where people say, man, y'all gotta give it up. DJ Black and Renard was this, that, and that, and they this and they that, and it's post where they give us homage on social media because we ran it. We were like the Kid and Play, So I had Kid and Play doing the kick step in the back of my head, and it made senior slide. We both was on the principal's list. We both went to college. We both in the music. I was a producer, rapper. Now I'm a DJ. So, so we always had something going, but we were literally geeks and nerds from Gifted and Talented. And then I was like, I came from Oakland. I hooked up with him in Louisiana. And I was like, look, this is what I'm doing in Oakland. I want to bring this here because it was so boring. And so I started doing talent shows, getting in talent shows. And I met Renard because he had a drum machine. And I was used to beatboxing and putting my raps together, no shirt, leather jacket, Kango. So I'm doing that. And he said, yo, bro, I got it. And hey, Kurt, all of this, I'm telling you, started at Miss Raven's house. She threw the first talent show that I ever got in. I met Renard at Miss Raven's house.
Well,
I met her at Miss
my
Raven's
confidence
house.
Came a little bit different, man. I at 16, man. See, when I was 2, I lost my right eye, man. So so I was bullied coming up. And so I got real swole. I started lifting weights, started getting in shape, started playing sports. And when I got 16, man, I just like, man, forget it, man. I don't care what nobody think. The only thing that's different for me is I can't see out of my right eye. That's it.
I really didn't know that though, Kurt. That's new.
And once my confidence built, man, man, I talk to any woman I want and got her. I mean, well, Dick, no, man. I used to.
They can say yes or no.
I was going, D know me. I was going through so many women in Bastard, man. I was just like, bro,
Lord,
Bastard couldn't hold me. Anywhere I went, Chicago, Atlanta. I met a girl in Atlanta and moved in 3 days.
Yeah.
Woo. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Hey, look. I mean, you ain't got to have a place. You can stay with your mama. You ain't got to have no money. You got that confidence. You get anything, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? That's that. Like you say, Kurt. I'm gonna hit you up probably Friday morning about the issue you was talking about the next podcast thing, but the confidence issue. We need to dig into that because it's a lot of brothers struggling because they feel like they can't compete with the popular guy that's out there. They don't know, they're not even trying. But like you say, it's confidence.
It is.
Because I was trying to explain that to one of my co-hosts on here. Because it ain't about looks either. It's not about looks. Because I've seen some guys that look worse than you probably ever seen, but he got the flyest chick on his arm.
Yeah.
It's his confidence. When he walked in the building, his head in the air, he talking loud. Like I was at Cumberland Mall out there in Georgia. Cumberland Mall. And it was a group of like 4 or 5 guys.
Right.
They didn't really have nothing going on. It was like one tall, one short, one real skinny, one kind of chubby. But the women was on these dudes because when they walked in the mall, they was loud. Yeah, man, too, man, we gonna do this. Man, you seen the they doing all that and the people looking at them. And so I'm looking at these 18 and 21-year-olds looking at these guys walk through the mall and trying to get to know them and y'all that. And I was like, it's their confidence because they didn't look worth shit. It was their confidence. They was dressed nice, but it's how they was walking in there with that swag.
Yeah,
and the ladies was checking them out. So yeah, that's definitely a topic that we need to touch up on and
bring it on, man. Bring it on.
Dig deep on.
Bring it on.
But on that note, fellas, we didn't hit the thing. We've been trying to get out of here. Like I told Kurt last week, we stayed on here another 2 or some hours. The other week, off a topic. But we got personal talking about our personal lives.
Yeah, we got some catching up to do, man. And congratulations, man. Since you are hey, man, I remember you used to tell me, man, I'd never get married.
I know, right? That was the thing. Never ever. And,
I know that's
but
right.
Remember we had that conversation. You said, hey, man, how you know it's that one? I said, man, you're gonna run across that one.
Yep.
And it's gonna be nothing like you ever met before. You're gonna be like, man, I'm blown
and
away.
you know what, Kurt? But then it is what you were saying. It was the personality, the home bringing, the rearing, like he said. She came from a grandma out there in Winsboro and Austin, Texas, and all that stuff. So it was like she wasn't what I was used to seeing. I just knew I didn't want no club hopper because I DJ in them clubs. I see a lot of shit going on. Amen. I could not date no one that dealt with the club. It wasn't a club.
Right.
And because you knew what they was
everything.
About.
I did everything to run off. And damn it, she still stayed. So after the 5th year, I think the 5th year putting up with my ways, Kurt, and she was still there with I'm DJ Black. I was doing this before I met you, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You don't like it, you can leave. It's a revolving door. I ain't in the business keeping nobody that don't need to be kept. Those are my rules. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm gonna do. If you don't like it, leave. And she still was there. I said, all right. But yeah, and it gets deep, and we're gonna talk about all of that too. But the single brother there, man, we gonna really want you to break down this single dating thing. We've got George's version, but I want to hear your version too, because George coming off of a divorce. And
I know it.
Yeah, with the kids. I need that brother that's like Kurt say, that's intelligent, smart, single, that can literally pick who he wants.
Okay.
But why hasn't he found someone?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. So
you got me, man. You got me.
So we gonna hit that. But on that note,
you just gotta
thank everybody for coming on here. Chantel, shout out to Chantel, shout out to Lonnie, shout out to my man Curtis, George, Austin, the Kirkland, Bo Rock, Until next week, Speak on It podcast. I'm the host, DJ Black. With that being said, we out. Peace.
What you think, man? I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me. But I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is? Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told them, don't do this.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even possible. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me? Right. Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
No, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time, they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing it together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my husband.